to expose what she says is the astronaut's calculated and manipulated campaign to win custody of her 6-year-old son. Here's what she told ABC News.
I was also placed under a restraining order from Ann that I could not leave Harris County with my son without Ann's written permission. It's really scary to me that as a fit and responsible parent that somebody can come and just literally stake a claim for possession of my child.
Wow. I mean, Erica, I think our viewers can relate. I mean, to the degree that we see child custody battles drag out so viciously for one reason only.
Yeah, sometimes that's about control. I think, one, the child is very fortunate to have two parents who want this child and want custody of the child. However, I think it goes to show you when you have like a family, and there are a lot of families that aren't, you know, your nuclear, traditional, so to speak, families, and people have to make decisions about how they want to rear their children. And this is a situation that's gone terribly wrong, but I think this is more the exception than the rule. And hopefully they can come together and do what's best for the child.
I hope they can too, because it gets ugly. It definitely does. All right, well, Netflix is synonymous with streaming, but it turns out the service still ships out DVDs to customers in those iconic red envelopes, and it just passed a major milestone. Check out DVD Netflix employees celebrating 5 billion shipments. The company began its DVD by mail subscription back in April of 1998, and it still has 2.4 million subscribers today. Did you know that was still a thing?
No,
Jeff?
I didn't. But I know red boxes. I always see people at the red box at the grocery store. Some people are just set in their ways, you know, and they just want to live the way they know how to live. They don't understand the Apple TV and the Hulus and the Netflix, and it's too much for them, and I totally get it. I'm still a guy who uses CDs.
We know.
Yeah, I use CDs in my car. My wife has XM radio in our new car, but who drives it? Not me. So I have to resort to CDs. Some people just don't have an option.
Yeah, and you're right. And we forget about the privilege. 30% of this country does not have the ability to stream because they don't have access to the internet. That's alarming to me. So we forget how privileged we are to have the easy accessibility.
Do you guys not think about your older relatives? Like, this is not that shocking to me. I mean, my grandmother, God rest her soul, she didn't have a microwave till probably the last 4 years of her life. Like, she was like, I ain't microwave. What do you want to eat? I'm going to make you food.
My grandmother didn't like artificial light. So
Yeah.
she did have electricity. She did. But she refused to turn on the electricity until like she really needed to when it was dark. And so we had little like old school oil lanterns. She did not like artificial light.
What year is this story from? This is great.
My grandmother did not.
I love it.
She grew up in very impoverished World War II Germany, and in those conditions, she grew up with artificial light. So for her, she hung on to that, just like you hang on to your CDs.
I don't have a choice.
Sometimes it is a choice.
Yeah. Well,
It's totally a choice.
I have to get like well, I was even going to say iPod dock, but I don't even think people use those now.
No, they don't.
You still have yours?
I don't even have one in my car. My car's 10 years old, so it just has CDs in there.
I love it, though.
The car before that had a tape deck, and I was still rocking some of those.
How many CDs do you possess?
They're all over. Here's what I do. I grab a handful, and I put them in my car because I don't know what's on them.
But you have a car where they're just everywhere?
No, I put them over here, and then when I feel like I'm through them, I throw them back in a drawer, and I grab another handful. So half of them don't work because they skip and stuff, but there's some good jams.
You know what
in
I'm
there.
getting you for Christmas? One of those, remember those big CD cases?
Right,
No, I don't want that. I don't want that.
I still have all my CDs.
I do too, but I don't play them on the reg. Do you? Maybe we should.
I do. I play the CDs, the records, and the cassettes.
Good for you, girl.
Wow.
See, that's cool. Maybe I should get back into that. DBL's Live coming up. Aquaman star Jason Momoa could have used a superhero of his own last night. Wait till you hear why. Plus an emotional conversation with Dog the Bounty Hunter Dwayne Chapman, how he's handling the loss of his wife Beth, and the universal lesson she taught him before she passed. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. MTV has not rebranded one of its biggest awards, named after Michael Jackson, but in the wake of child abuse allegations, should they? Your comments next.
I spent the weekend in LA and for a few different reasons, but one of them was that I went to this spa. So Sam was telling me about it. Two of my girlfriends went with me. and it's a Korean spa. And tell me if you've ever done anything like this, because I've never been to a spa where everyone is nude, and it kind of like is a shock at first, because you go in and like you do all the services and like no one's wearing any clothes. I mean, it was all female, but like no one's wearing any clothes. But it was like the most awesome experience, because you like soak in like this tea, and it's like a very detoxing thing, and it's also not like super duper expensive. It's more like homeopathic and traditional. So let me know if you've ever tried anything like this and what you thought, because I found that not only was it like great for the mind, the body, and the soul, but it like detoxed everything, and I felt like a totally new person when I left. So let me know if you've ever tried anything like this, or if there's one in your area, because I don't think there's one here in Denver. Maybe there is. I'm gonna look it up, because really, honestly, if I lived there, I would do it like twice a month. But anyway, that's what I did, and it was awesome. So share with me your experience.
Chicago. That's where he's from, so he did Chicago a lot.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for Fifth Host, when we talk about what you're talking about. Congrats to Missy Elliott. She received the MTV Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award last night, despite controversy. The award was named after the King of Pop in 1991, before he was first accused of child molestation. MTV says it never considered renaming the award after the release of HBO's shocking documentary Leaving Neverland. Now, one of his main accusers, Wade Robson, is calling MTV's decision to not rename the award, quote, unfortunate. So DBL Nation, did MTV make the right decision? Take it away, Al.
All right, Sam Paul from Facebook says Michael Jackson was a phenomenal dancer and singer, but a horrible human being. However, it is an entertainment award, right? Paul, no matter how you feel about Michael Jackson, I think the question is, how do we want to posthumously punish some people? I don't know if he was formally convicted in a court of law, and maybe MTV doesn't want to set a precedent that once somebody is accused of something, then you have to go and retroactively punish them. So I understand where Mr. Robson's coming from, but I also understand where MTV is, because once they do this once, they've set a precedent, and they're going to have to do it a lot.
Patty from Facebook says, I don't think they should name it after anyone. Just let it be the MTV Video Vanguard Award and avoid the controversy surrounding Michael Jackson. Patty, I think the struggle is, especially because Missy Elliott acknowledged him, I think a lot of people are struggling with the idea that when he had his day in court, because of the situation, however you want to look at it, whether you think he's guilty or innocent, he wasn't convicted, and he was also, the story was corroborated for his innocence through the same people who are now coming back and saying that it was true that he actually molested them. So it's complicated that way, because unlike an R. Kelly or a Bill Cosby or a Harvey Weinstein, they will see their day in court, and we can all be a part of that. But Michael Jackson was dead and gone before all of this stuff came to light in this way. So I think that's where people are struggling, and I think Al's right. How do you set a precedent for something like that?
Chris from Facebook says, leave it alone. He's gone, and what will changing the name even do? Plus, MTV would be nothing without his contributions to music. Chris, you got a great point there, but like Erica referenced Harvey Weinstein, he has not been convicted of anything. If there was a Harvey Weinstein award in the Oscars, would we still have it? 1,000%
Great
no.
point.
You know, so listen, I don't know where I stand on Michael Jackson myself. You know, it's hard for me, but if MTV is so woke, and I've been waiting to use that word in a sentence for the last 5 years, I think they got to change it. it.
I think, wow, you just made a great point. It's true. All right, well, coming up on DBL, we've got more from the MTV Video Music Awards, including a heartfelt performance from Miley Cyrus, but it wasn't the song that got people talking. It was something else. And next, Dog, the bounty hunter, opens up about losing the love of his life, Beth, to cancer, what she taught him, and the funny way they met when we come back.
What's going on? Happy Tuesday, happy Taco Tuesday for those of you who celebrate tacos. This is your digital break with Brandon. We're gonna get right into this fifth host. You all have been writing in, so let's see what you have to say. Paul Paco Cortez watching on Facebook says, phenomenal dancer and singer, horrible human being. It's a singing award, right? Chris Pitt says, leave it alone, he's gone. Kate Bonner says, why would they? Whatever he's been accused of or hasn't done has nothing to do with his contribution to music. I think a lot of people are sticking to the side of the artist side of Michael Jackson. I don't think people, like Erica said, I think it's hard for people to come to terms and come to grasp that since he wasn't convicted of anything, and this documentary came well after he was dead and wasn't able to kind of speak up for himself, people are just like, leave it at the music, leave it at the music, leave it at the performance. Sherry Greer says, leave this man be. Let him rest in peace. Jamie Cox on Facebook says, I can't support other victims if I don't support this either. His name needs to be taken off the award. Just because his victims are men doesn't make this any less serious. Thank you for writing in, Jamie. Patty Trey Paneer on Facebook says, he's not here to defend himself. Don't believe people looking for 15 minutes of fame. Thank you all for writing in. We've got Jeff Schroeder at the wall next. 15.
Welcome back to DBL. While mourning the death of his beloved wife, Beth, Dog the Bounty Hunter is honoring her memory by continuing the work they started in a new series called Dogs Most Wanted. Our very own Tori Shulman sat down with him in today's Chatting with the Stars.
Dwayne Dog Chapman, also best known as Dog the Bounty Hunter, welcome to Daily Blast Live. I want to start with my deepest condolences. Beth wasn't just a major part of the show, she was a huge part of your life.
Once you find out that it's an incurable, lung cancer, where's there to go from there?
How difficult was filming this last season knowing that it might be Beth's last?
I didn't know that, Tori. I thought that she was going to make it.
Yeah.
I see every morning when you wake up, I look at your color. You have color back in the last 3 or 4 days. The difficult to me was I was impressed about some of the things she was showing the camera.
Wow.
I'm like, God, you're gonna show them that? You're gonna do that? And she's like, Big Daddy, yes.
What did Beth teach you in life?
Love.
Oh. Wow.
She taught me love.
Wow. And do you mind if I ask how you two met?
I posted her bond for stealing lemons when she was 18 years old, and she was Senator Sandoval's secretary.
Wow.
She had never been in jail before, ever.
So out of lemons, you made lemonade. That's amazing. Now, I had, isn't that cute? You're very welcome. I wanted to ask how disappointed you must have been to experience not only the loss of Beth shortly after your store was robbed of some of her belongings. Has the theft been identified or caught? Can you let us know about that?
The chief of police of Edgewater, Colorado called me in there and said, take your badge out, raise your right hand, place your left hand on your badge.
Wow.
You swear to Almighty God in the name of the law that you will not get involved in this?
Good.
I checked yesterday. They kind of know who did it.
Wow.
You know, the Bible talks about robbing the grave or stealing from the dead. And it's one of the unpardonable sins. I think it probably is about the only one.
Right.
So I would not want to be that person.
I wouldn't
that's terrible.
Well, my love, all of DBL here just wants to give our love to you and to Beth. I know she's with you every step of the way. Also, to give you some love as a caregiver. Not a lot of people give a lot of love to caregivers, so I just want to shout out you, because it's not easy for you to go through that either.
Well, thank you, and I'd do it again.
I know you
see
would.
her.
You're amazing. Dogs Most Wanted premieres Wednesday, September 4th on WGN America. Dwayne Dog Chapman, thank you so much for being here on DBL, and I will pray for you and Beth.
Thank you, Tori.
Great interview, great guy. We'll be right back.
Guess who's Bazak? Brendan London here for another digital break. We're changing up the format. We're kind of playing along with it. I'm going to go back-to-back blocks. So after the fifth host, we'll talk more about the fifth host with you all. And after the C block, which you just saw just now with the chatting with the stars, or it could be a hard threads, I'll come right back and I just like our other producers look up stories because I like to talk about sports-related things. But since I'm not allowed to get into the X's and O's of the sports, let's talk about the lifestyle of it. So, Carli Lloyd, as you all know, who is two-time FIFA World Cup winner on the U.S. women's national soccer team, is getting a lot of attention throughout NFL teams because I believe last week she kicked a 55-yard field goal while hanging out at a joint practice between the Baltimore Ravens and the Philadelphia Eagles. So a 55-yarder, ladies and gentlemen, is, to me, being a former football player, is a standard. You have to be able to hit from 55 if you're in the NFL, if you're an NFL kicker, in my opinion. I believe the longest NFL or field goal to NFL history, I believe, is 61 yards. So she's been getting a lot of interest, a lot of calls from a lot of teams. And as you know, the last preseason game where teams make the final cut comes up is this Thursday. And teams are kind of courting her or offering her a chance to kick in an NFL preseason game. I think it'll be absolutely phenomenal. Me being an older brother to a sister who plays women's professional football, and you know, there's been a recent movement in trying to get women and more women into football and more women into professional football. I think we break ground by starting with the kicker part because, I mean, physically, you know, women are running 4.3 40s or like that than some of the NFL men. So I think this will be a great opportunity to break that barrier. And the longest kick in NFL history is 64 yards by Matt Prater, not 61 yards. I think 61 yards was what Jake Elliott kicked last year to beat the Giants at home, and it just broke my heart. So what do you think, DBL Nation? How do you feel about this? Do you feel as though this is the way that we can introduce women to being a part of a team in the NFL? I want to go to two of my digital friends here. Did you hear the story about Carli Lloyd getting offers from NFL teams to kick in the last preseason game? Roslyn, you as a woman, do you think that she should, even if she doesn't make the team, which is probably hard because it's the last preseason game, do you think that Carli Lloyd should at least show up and kick for a team in the NFL preseason game?
Definitely. I think so. As a woman, I think that's huge.
Yeah.
That's a huge deal.
And for the young girls out there to see that,
Yeah.
you think this will be something, a game-changing moment for those young girls out there?
I completely agree.
What about yourself, Mike?
I think it would be amazing to see Carli out there on the field with kicking field goals.
Yeah. All right, DBL Nation, right in.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. What do we have, Erica?
Well, Mindy wants to know, why do they keep inviting John Travolta to these things? Mindy, be nice. Be nice.
Got a good age.
Dorothy Jane says, "Aw, poor John Travolta." Renee says, in John Travolta's defense, that drag queen did kind of look like Taylor Swift.
We actually have an exclusive. Do we have time, David? How much time do I have? So we have a person in this building that knows John Travolta, has worked with him, has been at live events with him.
Is it me?
No. God. Anyways, this woman said in our building that he is so nervous going on stage. He hates reading teleprompter. He shows up an hour early to practice. It's his worst fear, and so it almost has gotten in his head, and he cares so much that it's endearing in my opinion.
I can understand that.
Yeah, it's completely
that's not his
endearing.
wheelhouse. People act like just because you're comfortable in front of people that you're comfortable in all situations. You're not.
Well, people will tell him to practice. Guess what? He does practice. But then I think once it comes down to that live moment, it all kind of goes out the window, and then he gets nervous. So,
dude, I could relate to that because I have to practice before I came here. I used to read the prompter back in the day, like for hours.
I remember.
If there's a word that I don't know and I know it's coming up, I'm like,
look how far you've come, though.
I can read.
Here's what's coming up next.
We've got you covered with the biggest moments from the MTV Video Music Awards. Miley. Lip syncers. Real singers. Didn't watch? Don't worry. Then, why Aquaman Jason Momoa could have used a superhero of his own last night, and the annoying habits that everyone can agree on. Is yours on the list? Find out when DBL returns.
Buddy, I'm Dr. John Kudrowski. I'm a professional ski mountaineer, mountain guide. I'm an author and a keynote speaker as well, and I've been up on Everest 4 times. Now I'm going to give you the 4 main things to consider when you're climbing Everest, and the first thing is travel. So when you're traveling over to climb Mount Everest, travel is about $2,000. You'll arrive in Kathmandu, and then if you're climbing the south side, you take a plane to Loughlin and start trekking. If you're climbing the north side, you take a plane to Lhasa and you drive to base camp. Next is room and board. And for Mount Everest, there's a lot of little pieces to this. There's the trekking in to base camp. You can stay at really nice lodges and tea houses. Some of these expeditions have big dome tents with pool tables and ping pong tables and even a bar. Then you got to think about going up the mountain as well, and we have dining tents and cook tents in one of our camps called Advanced Base Camp, and then you also will be staying in a tent in the different camps. So there's a lot of lodging options, and this option costs you about $8,000. Now, what about the gear to climb Mount Everest? Because you're obviously not going to go up there in this. So the essential gear you're going to need to climb Mount Everest includes bottled oxygen, crampons to go on your boots, an ice axe of course, and a big down suit to withstand the 30 or 40 below temperatures. Now for the most important part of climbing Mount Everest, you're going to need a mountain guide. We'll also hire you a personal Sherpa, and those items will run you about $50,000, but they're very important. So on Everest, I've seen price ranges going from the low end, $50,000, the high end, $100,000. At the end of the day, you're gonna be dropping about 75 grand in order to climb the highest mountain in the world. Get ready to cash in your child's college fund, or maybe even mortgage your house. I'll see you on the summit.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You think this hair just naturally stays like that?
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
Once upon a time.
Welcome back to DBL. That was Miley Cyrus performing her new song at the MTV Video Music Awards. She sung her heart out last night in her first performance since splitting from husband Liam Hemsworth. But that's not the only thing that has fans talking. She debuted a brand new tattoo. It says, my head was feeling scared, but my heart was feeling free. What did you think about her performance, Jeff?
Listen, I admittedly said on the show I'm not a Miley fan, but after her post and what she's going through publicly and that performance, she's starting to lean towards.
Sounded great.
Yeah, Team Miley. I don't know.
Yeah.
She love her or hate her. This girl is so transparent, and she definitely wears her heart on her sleeve. And you cannot argue, Erica. The girl can sing.
Yeah, no, she's incredibly talented, but I'm also looking at her aesthetically, and that's someone who's fully in alignment with themselves. Like, she looks super healthy.
What do you think about her new tattoo?
I mean, the tattoo is what it is. I mean, obviously that's how she's expressing herself, and that makes a lot of sense. A lot of us just make decisions based on who other people need for us to be. And if that is not in alignment with who you are, then it's going to be problematic. So I really commend her for doing something that a lot of people twice her age have not had the courage to do, and that's be fully who they are.
Yeah,
and
she does.
Therefore,
unapologetically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Therefore, whoever comes into your life is supposed to be there, not because you want them to be happy with you being there.
And I
empty.
like that she's thinking about the pain too.
Yes.
Like, I mean, how many people, most people that get into any kind of relationship, especially a serious one, it will end. And I think a lot of people, including yours truly, have handled that poorly. You either turn it on yourself, you drink too much, you become withdrawn from society, you don't form new relationships with people. She is taking her pain and putting it outward. First of all, a lot of people can relate to what she's dealing with and what she's going through, and I think that she could be the template for young people to be like, hey, this, even if you're with a partner,
honesty.
Because if you look at the drug situation we have in this country, you probably will be dating somebody that is dealing with some kind of self-medication. So I think she is setting a template for, like, don't turn it on yourself, and also don't trash them. She's not calling him a jerk or anything like that. She's just saying, hey, I love you, but for me, I need to move on. I respect this. I like that song.
Well said.
I like it.
I do too.
Sound like my dad over here. I like that.
Well, there were, of course, a ton of performances last night, but fans are calling out Lil Nas X and the Jonas Brothers for lip syncing. Watch. Okay. I believe that we had a little bit of a mix-up there.
Well, we're talking about lip syncing.
Yes.
And I asked a question during the meeting. I don't understand when it's okay for some people to lip sync and some people not to, because everybody says I make fun of
What about with dance performances, right? When you think about Janet, when you think about J-Lo.
Do you expect that when you go?
Missy, did you see how long her performance was?
Yeah.
She didn't lip sync. She had to go through all those songs.
That's
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that when she was performing. Since we screwed up the videos, I think we did them a little backwards. Let's go on Missy because that was my favorite part of the night.
So talk about it. Why was that your favorite performance?
I don't know. It's just like Missy, and what we said on the panel the other day, me and my wife had the same conversation. Whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're skinny, whether you're female, whether you're
70, 30,
everybody loves Missy Elliott. When she came out, I felt like I was a kid again. I got that same energy. She doesn't look like your typical, I'm not trying to be mean, like anybody. She has her own thing. She does her own.
Mean.
I know, I don't want, you have to really watch what you say in today's day and age now, Al. I'm just being
Especially on live TV. You should. Yes.
And I'm not, that's not a put down at all. Missy does her own thing was the point that I'm doing. And like, I'm getting like excited just to, she's amazing.
But what a true statement. Like, here's someone that fully was dancing, fully giving it her all, and she didn't appear to be lip syncing. So you can do it. It can be managed.
Well, I think, one, that's what's so endearing about Missy Elliott is because she's fully who she is.
Yes.
And that's, it's like take it or leave it. But the other thing is, unless you're going to give a performance that's 125%, that's the only way that it's going to look 100. So she gave an extraordinary performance, but award shows are historically bad audio. There's a lot going on. And so people who might only be able to be capable of giving an 80% performance don't want to end up looking like they gave 45. So that's why they lip sync.
Yep. And we can't talk about an award show without our resident fashionista, Stephanie Jones, breaking it all down for us. Stephanie, give it to us.
That's right. Last night's fashion did not let us down. First up, Queen Latifah rocked this coral pantsuit with a little fringy on the legs. And this is something that you guys can do at home to jazz up an old outfit that's in your closet. And also Lenny Kravitz rocked denim on denim. And YouTuber Tonaman Show and singer Her both accessorized with snakes. So we're channeling a very Britney Spears kind of look, which led me to wonder, where was Britney?
Ooh.
I'd have loved to have seen her. Lil Nas X made a few wardrobe changes last night, but he walked the red carpet in this silver getup. I love it. Prince vibes. And it seems like a lot of stars forgot their pants last night, like Taylor Swift, Jonathan Van Ness, Megan Thee Stallion, and Halsey. So that's one for you guys maybe to rock next time. Hey, Al.
That's right, I'm with it.
I love it. Stephanie, so who was your all-time fave, though? If you could have picked one person that stood out to you, who was it?
Besides me.
Besides you. No, I love Lenny Kravitz, and I love the kind of early noughties vibe that he gave me with that kind of chainmail top and the white pointed cowboy boots. I'll take that any day.
Yes, Steph, thank you. Well, can you imagine getting stuck in an elevator? Aquaman's Jason Momoa did. He documented his 2-hour ordeal in a Canadian hotel elevator with 5 other people and his adorable German Shepherd. Watch.
Cannibalism. Let's do it. Fire department doesn't really want to show up. Hey. Yeah, that's what we're thinking. Get us out. Like, I'm sitting here kind of hungry. You guys have the most hungry. Look, at the end of the day, I'm gonna eat you first, bro.
They eventually got out after taking the ceiling off. So what I love here is, like, first of all, if you're stuck in an elevator.
I've been stuck in an elevator.
How long?
2.5, 3 hours?
No.
I thought I told you guys this.
I can't imagine. I don't know this story.
A good friend of mine, Courtney, she actually, I grew up with her, and she went to Tufts University in Boston. And at the end, she was graduating, and they have like their end of the year ball, whatever you call that. And so I escorted her, and
when did you get to the elevator?
And I escorted her. Cool. What happened in the elevator?
I'm trying to set the scene for how everybody was dressed. Okay. So it was like at the top, the top floor, like the Hyatt or somewhere. And we got on the elevator, and it was already kind of making that buzzing noise because it was people had been overserved. Leave it at that. And there was like 6 college guys and maybe like 4 women, so it was about 10 of us, and it was making the buzzing noise, and the door was closing, and this one guy jumped on.
No.
He was a big dude. He's probably 200 pounds.
Over capacity.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like,
overweight.
So he wasn't big,
No,
but
not him.
but
totality.
it definitely put us over. And the door shut, and the elevator went down like a half a floor, just from like 12 to 1, and it just stayed there. And the doors kind of just opened, but just the first level of doors open, so then you could see the chains and everything.
Cables?
Yes, and we're just in there, and everybody.
So what did you do to kill the 2.5 hours? Or were you?
We were just sitting there, and it's weird
but
because.
What was Al? Was Al like the cruise ship captain? Like, this is what we're gonna do? Or was Al?
I was calm because 2 of the guys on there were so drunk that they were starting to get panicky and unruly. Like you ever see a movie where they have to knock one guy out because he's so like it was. I was like, am I going to have to like hold this guy down because he was drunk and he definitely had claustrophobia and was panicking. But yeah, it was about 2.5 hours for the Boston Fire Department came and got us.
Whew. Yikes, Al.
I thought I told y'all.
I thought I told you. Not in that detail, no.
Well, I tried to get into detail, and you said, faster.
That wasn't me. That was Jeff and me.
You correct. There we go.
It was a while before you got to the elevator.
Thank you.
We were in tuxes.
Okay.
I'm going to let people know.
That's all you had to say. Talk about your nightmare scenario. This is a serious story. 16 children in Spain have developed what's known as werewolf syndrome, all from taking medication contaminated with a common hair regrowth serum. And just for reference, this is what people with werewolf syndrome look like. It is characterized by excessive hair growth anywhere on a person's body. The tainted medication was taken out of circulation, and the baby's hair, the growth did subside once they stopped taking the contaminated medicine. But this is, again, like, this was a very common thing with the babies, right? Acid reflux, indigestion. I would almost think that almost every baby has indigestion. So you can only imagine how many babies were at risk of this. 16 is still 16 too many, but it makes you wonder. I mean, you think about the drug that was given to pregnant women back, was it in the 70s?
Thalidomide.
Yes, and then their babies were born without limbs. And the poor mothers were like, listening to the doctors being like, I have nausea, and believe me, I know what that's like. So the mothers are like, I have nausea. The doctor's saying, take this, it's FDA approved, it's regulated, and then their babies are born without limbs. So it's scary.
Yeah, it's super alarming, especially because most things that are meant to grow hair or hair restoration also can make you in risk of other things like cancer.
Right.
But just the idea that you don't know what you're giving to your child,
I know.
Like, that's insane.
But that's when you
have to
take,
depend on
that's
your
when you
doctor.
depend on the authoritative figure, which is the doctor who.
And that's why it's so important for regulation.
So
and a lot
scary.
of times when regulation is put out as this thing that's trying to hold down business, it's not. Regulation is there to make sure the companies don't throw rat poison and dust into kids' formula. If it's not there, these corporations don't care. and they will put this in your stuff. So this is why regulation is important.
Well said. Coming up on DBL, important advice for single women, all about managing your finances. You cannot miss dollars and cents. But first, annoying habits that drive us bonkers. We'll share the top things people do that everyone hates and some of our very own when we come back.
What's up, guys? Happy Tuesday. You guys remember that song, Going Up on a Tuesday?
If I don't remember to show you the picture of him, just tell
That was
Jordan
the most
it's
props
an
Tuesday
old
ever
man
gotten, and that in that
with
store
glasses,
Tuesday morning.
Like,
Where I guess
and he
everything
brings
is
his own
cheap for
chair.
Tuesday
No,
morning.
I don't think it's his own chair.
What am I
He's
talking
probably
about?
sitting
How about
in
if I read some comments?
chairs
Oh, here.
around the playground.
All right.
I saw
We got
that.
some comments. Archie Border. I like that name. That sounds like a hitman in the 30s. Archie Border from Facebook says, I love your show a lot. Sam, I sent you a text. I don't know if you got that.
Oh, okay.
It's not worth you going to text.
Okay.
It's insulting.
Oh, great.
We have,
it's him making fun of me. Cool.
Kaylin Bates from Facebook says, hey there from Springfield, Arkansas. What's going on in Springfield? Where is Springfield in? All I know is Little Rock. I'm sorry. I've been to Arkansas a couple times, but let me know where it is. And also, somebody gave us a shout out from, it wasn't Turks and Caicos, Trinidad and Tobago. It was Janelle Joseph. Janelle, if you're watching us from Trinidad and Tobago, do me a favor, send us a picture of what it looks like
now
outside.
It's real.
I love those.
Someone texted us yesterday from South Korea for the Access show, and they're like, "That's so cool." I'm like, "Is it? Are they really in South Korea?" Because they get a shout out every time you read it, like watching from Ireland. I'm not saying you're not in Turks and Caicos. Maybe we'll see a picture.
Well, they said Trinidad and Tobago. Which are those two different islands?
I think so.
Or is it one island, Trinidad and Tobago? Because I know Turks and Caicos are two different islands.
No, we appreciate you watching from wherever you are down there.
Yes.
But sometimes I do question.
I'm embarrassed that I
Hey,
don't
wait,
know.
can I talk about this next block a little bit?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So
Joel.
it's just, no worries. It's just annoying things that other people do. So if you have a personal story or if something really sets you off that we mentioned, go off on it. We have 4 of them every hour. Feel free to bring in other things
Joe looks like
that
he just
annoy
took
you.
over his dad's deli.
I did.
All right, go.
Would you guys? And then,
Welcome back to DBL. Everyone has had a bad habit or two, like talking during movies, using the express checkout line with more than 10 items, or taking their shoes off on a plane. What? Today we are taking a look at some of the most annoying habits that other people have. Let us know the quirks you can't stand using the hashtag dbltake, and we'll share them later in the show. First up is humble bragging. This is a seemingly self-critical statement that is meant to draw attention to one's own achievements. Yeah, we see this a lot on social media, right? Especially after the new year. 2017, yeah, it's a bit.
Oh, I always see the humble brag when you kind of want to tell somebody where you are, but you're acting like it's not a big deal. You're like,
I'm on a private jet.
Yeah, last time I wear Nikes into first class, they kind of gave me a hard time. It's like, you wanted to tell people in your first class. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have a problem with it.
I know you don't. You don't humble brag. You just go, this is my
I don't
life.
know what I do. Honestly, I don't know what the criteria is anymore. You can talk about your life. You can't talk about your life. You can make up photos to make your life look like something it's not, or just take no photos and it be something that it's not. I'm done with the humble brag and all of that. Just live your life.
Yes,
live your life.
do
But when
you,
my girl, when Paltrow tries to do that, everybody attacks her. That's
I don't
why I got her
attack
back.
her.
I don't
Not
attack
you.
her.
I don't
attack her.
Your girl
Tori Shulman has a major hang-up with
Gwyneth.
Gwyneth Paltrow. That's her and her.
Okay. Next up is when someone does not hold the door open for the person behind them.
I feel like that makes Jeff so mad.
That one doesn't bother me.
No. Really?
I will hold the door open, but if somebody forgets to hold it open for me, it doesn't bother me.
There's a rule though. Like, I mean, if there's certain distance away, like, you know, hurry up, I'll hold it. But like, if you're dawdling, I'm just going in.
What about the elevator person? Like, what about you're approaching the elevator and they don't try and stop?
And you see the word, if you make eye contact,
and they don't stop the
shame
door,
on you.
and they don't.
You better hope I don't make that elevator.
Yep.
Yeah.
This next annoying habit is not returning your shopping cart to the proper spot in parking lots.
This is my number
this
one or two. Turn signals and this. It's like, it just shows your whole character in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Exactly who you are. If you don't return your shopping cart, I know exactly who you are as a person, and you do not belong in my life at all.
Can I tell you something that happened to me recently where I already had Sophie in the car seat and I forgot to return my shopping cart, and I was like, and I thought of Jeff, and I took Sophie back out of the car seat, and then I went in, because normally I'm just like you. I'm all about like those type of like small acts of like, you just should do those things.
Right.
But after I put in the car seat, I'm like, this one time is fine. But then I heard Jeff right here, and I was like, he's right.
Yeah, I would have turned Jeff down in my head and
your
been like,
life
hey.
is so much more important that you don't have to follow society's rules. You can just leave your stuff wherever you want.
You're absolutely
See, I look at it more like you've never had that job where you have to go collect.
that's true.
When it's cold outside, there's a shopping cart way down the way, and like somebody had to go get that.
Well, that, and you're the first one to complain when you get a door ding from a shopping cart that went rogue.
Ooh,
that's karma.
Karma.
Yes.
And finally, talking loudly on the phone in public areas. This doesn't bother me when other people do it. I don't know why.
Well, coming back from Louisville this weekend, there was a person on my connecting flight, not a lot of direct flights from Louisville to Denver, on my flight back here to Denver that just watched a movie on their phone with no earbuds. And I think eventually somebody, but it was a good, you know, like you give them the benefit of the doubt for like the first 20 seconds and you're like, oh,
that's enough.
The movie's just started.
Committed.
I
You're
know
committed.
that movie, yeah.
Wow. What's your biggest pet peeve?
I think the turn signal. The turn signal is like my number one.
What about people not giving you a courtcy wave? Does that tick you off?
That drives me crazy.
That's I think my biggest. I almost want to have one of those like bull horns. What are those horns where I can talk to people? I almost want to talk to people on the road and be like, did you not like see that I just let you in? Give me a courtesy wave.
I get really frustrated when I drive. I can't even stand people jogging in place at a stoplight. I want to just be like, dude, what are you in the Olympics? Just take a break. You know what I mean? Like,
take a moment. Take a moment.
Checking your pulse. Dude, just run the other way.
Coming up on DBL, managing money can be tough for anyone, but single women may have a harder time. But don't worry, we're looking out for you next in Dollars and Cents.
Hey, welcome back to Beauty Blast, guys. Thanks for joining me, and if you didn't know, I'm Dre for the Slay, and today we're talking about some of the new beauty trends that are coming. Now, I had to use my sidekick powers and go ahead and look into the future a little bit to see what's going on with the beauty world. We've seen a lot happen in the last couple of years, from big bushy brows to these crazy highlights on the face and everything in between. But I feel like we're actually rolling back into some great eras with what's going on in the near future for fall beauty trends. Now, for our 2019 fall beauty trends, I'm seeing monochromatic looks everywhere. Now, these are great because you're using something like a lipstick that you're wearing. Think of a red lipstick, and you're taking that same color and applying it to your cheeks, and maybe even to the high temples of your cheekbones as well. And then sometimes, like we did with Lex a couple weeks ago, go back and look at that video, even using it on the eyes. Now, I'm seeing this pop up more and more on fashion walkways, so I'm thinking it's gonna catch on into fall as well. Now, another look that I see coming on up is graphic liner. Yes, I'm here for this look so much. Remember the 60s, very like Kennedy-esque, those big wing liners, or sometimes more of like that liner that just is etched out on the eye, and more design looks overall in general. These are great for really making sure that you're making a look that you're making a look that says something, okay? You can really step out into these looks, which I'm here for. Take any type of liquid liner. My personal favorite is actually Maybelline 24-Hour Precision Studio Liner. It's thebomb.com, and it's cheap, honey, so you never have to worry about it just going out on you, okay? Now, for more fall beauty trends, let's talk about some more actually next week, and you can check part 2 out for our next video. Go ahead and make sure that you're following @Dream.
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live. Budgetologist Felicia Jones is back in the studio, and we are talking managing finances as a single woman in today's Dollars and Cents, presented by John Hancock. Very interesting topic today. I like it, Felicia.
It's going to be a good one.
I like it, and thanks for being here, as always.
Thank you.
You ready to jump right in with our question?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. This question is from Sheila through Facebook. She asks, I'm recently single after a 20-year marriage and was never the one in charge of finances. What advice do you have?
You know, this is a really good question because a lot of women find themselves in this situation. So what we're going to do is jump into a couple of tips and when it comes to single women and finances. So first thing that Sheila should do is pay herself first.
Okay.
You know, 44% of single women have less than $1,000 of saving. So what Sheila will need to do is make savings a hobby and make sure she puts money into an emergency fund or other savings first each month. So that's the big one.
Okay.
The next thing is Sheila needs to protect her credit. Because single women, you know, we don't have another income to rely on, so you're going to have to really make sure that credit stays high, and it helps you give favorable loans and rates and interest rates and things like that.
And is that basically just paying your bills on time?
Yes, exactly. Keep that credit score as high as you can, pay your bills on time, pay off all your debt, you know, keep this up on a regular basis.
Right.
And then finally, we're going to leverage community and work resources. Now, this is so cool because we are in a time where financial education is pretty much around every corner. So we're going to tell Sheila to make sure she goes and get financial education, tap into resources in her community, and you know what, and get a debt accountability partner if she wants to pay off debt. So
there you
go.
One.
Yeah.
There you go. Who needs to go get one of those reliable people? And we have you, Felicia.
Yes, I'm here.
You're here for us, and we love it. Thank you so much, Felicia. And to submit your financial questions for the next Dollars and Cents, please email askmrsjones@dailyblastlive.com. And for info about life insurance and retirement planning, call John Hancock at 1-800-978-0663. We'll be right back.
My sunglasses inside.
I'm doing that because my eye makeup is smudged and I look a little crazy.
I doubt that. Hi. Well, I'm here at the breaks. I have like a couple little news stories for you. I have a fun fact. If you were watching earlier, Missy Elliott's tribute performance, if you have a chance to watch it online, you'll see the girl in the yellow dancing. That's actually the original girl in her video when she was a little kid, and now she's all grown up. That was really fun to see. Then we have another headline that's coming to you. Now, if you shop at the Family Dollar, they have just had to pay a $1 million fine for allegedly using expired products. So just be careful, check the labels, all of that. And now we have another story coming out, it's breaking, is Dave Chappelle's new comedy special on Netflix. He kind of, now I saw this in person and so did Rob over here on his phone. Do you remember when we saw Dave Chappelle's comments on Michael Jackson? Do you remember that in a little bit? So basically he kind of defends Michael Jackson in his skit.
Oh, yes.
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 Now, Wade Robinson and some of his accusers are pretty upset with that because it just, everything we saw is now on Netflix. So you might want to check that out and see it again.
Yeah, I'd actually like to see it again just to have it back in my memory again.
Reprocess it because at the shows they make you hide their phone, which is actually something Pete Davidson got mad at yesterday at a show he was at because he thought it was implied that every time you see a comedy show you hide your phone, but it's not. And college students obviously did what a college student would do and filmed him. It was basically just a rant about how you shouldn't film. So I guess if you're ever at a comedy show, just know maybe put down the phone so you don't get yelled at by the comic. Anyway, we'll talk to you next break. Bye.
Welcome back to DBL. A clip from our show all about chicken sandwiches has gone viral. If you didn't see it, check it out. Take a moment, savor it. Jeff looks a little bit more reactionary on this one. I feel like he's feeling the Popeyes.
That's seasoning.
Okay, he's into the Popeyes.
Tori, does that taste like a neighborhood you've never been to?
Oh my God! Well, now an Instagram influencer put his own spin on it and turned it into a musical.
That seasoning. Okay, he's into the Popeye. Boy, does that taste like a neighborhood you've never been to? Oh my God! Stop it! Choo choo slowly. No. That fry is not cute. No. I've got my favorites. Okay, what is it? Point. Popeyes.
I like having a bigger role in that
You
one.
do? I think we should do the whole show in those voices.
I
love that.
It just shows that we're the type of show that we can razz one another, that we can laugh at one another, and I think that's why a statement like that, it resonated with people because it's real and we get real.
We love each other. We spend so much time. We're like brothers and sisters.
Yeah, we definitely make fun of one another a lot.
I actually didn't find out from anybody having to do with the show. I found out it went viral in LA from somebody who asked me about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the best way.
Thanks for keeping up with us.
Yeah, well, you know, I was on vacation.
She was on vacay. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place.
So I'm Jeff Schroeder, and we're all going to be learning a new word today. So I'm just randomly going to pick something out of a dictionary that's already been preset, and I'm going to give you my take on what I think it is. So let's get our first word. Chlorofluorocarbon. This is definitely on the table of elements, and you inhale this, whether in a gas or pill form, and it makes you run super fast. Chlorofluorocarbon. I didn't get that right at all, did I?
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
Daily Blast Live starts right now.
Why, thank you, Dog the Bounty Hunter. Don't miss our emotional and funny interview with Dwayne Chapman later in the show. Welcome to DBL. It is Tuesday, August 27th. I'm here with Tori, Jeff, Al. I am Sam. Tori looking bright today.
Can you guys hear me, or is this my dress too loud?
Oh, it's okay. No, you look great.
It.
It's better than what Al said to me earlier and then sent me a picture. You want to tell them, Al?
Tell us.
No.
I love
Why
it.
not?
You can't.
He compared me to a room divider up Pier 1.
You know what they ever had in college, the Oriental ones? Yeah, I may have sent her a screenshot.
And then he sent me a screenshot of that in case I forgot his comment earlier. Yeah, that's
I love
right.
when he does that.
Let's get right to the show, shall we? Taylor Swift performing at last night's VMAs on MTV. She took home the coveted Video of the Year award for her song, You Need to Calm Down. And during her acceptance speech, the 29-year-old singer got political, calling out the White House. Watch.
I first want to say thank you to the fans because in this video, several points were made. So you voting for this video means that you want a world where we're all treated equally under the law. I want to thank everyone who signed that petition because it now has 500,000 signatures, which is 5 times the amount that it would need to warrant a response from the White House.
And Taylor's Equality Act petition calls for equal rights for the LGBTQ community. Many people applauding her. Some people are saying she's doing it insincerely because she thinks it's trendy. I don't agree with that. I think she's sincere.
I have always said in a theory, and it's speculative, that guy, that DJ that hit her on the bum, that groped her, sort of smacked her into action. And I think as soon as someone does that to you, you become a different person. No matter what, you were sexually assaulted, you sort of become someone that won't just take it.
I think she understood how powerful her voice was.
I think you're absolutely right, 'cause people jumped on it.
So many young
You're
victims of sexual assault, male and female, young boys, young girls, immediately started contacting her. And I think she was like, whoa, I have a voice. I have a voice. Talk about how her clothing choices even.
So if you guys go back to any picture of her in that blazer with the shoulder pads that are phenomenal, I don't know if you guys can see it. See if you can, well, there's another one. On her lapel are safety pins, and those represent safety for marginalized people, and it's a symbol. There
you
see
go.
The safety
There
pins
they
right
are. Yep.
So it's just a nice nod.
That's cool.
You know, it's just like a nice, thoughtful nod.
It's being really aware.
Yeah.
Really aware.
Yeah.
And here's a moment, speaking of Taylor Swift, John Travolta had a very awkward moment at the show last night, and if you blinked, you might have missed it. He appears to try to hand the award to drag queen Jade Jolie instead of T Swift, but in his defense, Jade is a T Swift impersonator.
Well, you know, that's great for his website.
What do you mean?
He's be like, hey, I look so much like Taylor Swift, they try to give me your award. I mean, you know, honestly, it's very, like as a comic, you get thrown into hosting situations a lot, and I kind of feel for Mr. Travolta here. I mean, it's very difficult. I don't know how much prep he did.
First of all, he has a pattern, and I don't blame him, but can we at least show that there's a precedent here? Yes.
Oh boy.
Here to perform the Oscar-nominated, gorgeously empowering song, Let It Go, from the Oscar-winning animated movie Frozen, please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem.
You meant to say Idina Menzel, but he stalled.
You could see his brain just shut off halfway through that name. He's like, I'm done here. I'm telling you, as somebody that's hosted, like if I didn't know how to say Jeff's last name, if I was like, it was Schrader or Schroeder, the way I would bring you on stage, I'd be like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get the man of the hour. Are you ready for him? I'm not going to bring him up unless I get it bigger. And I just want people to start clapping so I can be like, Jeff Schroeder. You know, like, you have to lie. So I'm like, that name was difficult, and I'm sure he doesn't want to appear out of touch. So
I feel bad for him.
Yeah, I feel his pain.
It's endearing, right?
Yeah, and listen, John Travolta earned the right to screw up. I liked seeing John Travolta. I wasn't exactly hip to everything that was going on. That means I didn't know who the hell anybody was on camera. But I liked seeing John Travolta on there.
Meaning when you watched the show last night?
Yeah, they kept showing people, and Jordan's like, who's that? I'm like, why you keep asking me? I have no idea who that is.
Hardly
I didn't know if they're famous or if they were
No. We've all aged out because I didn't know either.
Yeah, well, MTV's demo was like 11 to 16.
We've aged out. No, I bet it's like 11 to 25, and we've clearly doubled that.
Yeah. If Sebastian Maniscalco wasn't hosting, I don't think I would have even tuned in.
Did you think he was cast correctly for it? Do you feel me? I loved him. I'd never seen him before.
Yeah, I think he was because I wouldn't have tuned in if he wasn't hosting.
Right, but I don't know.
But you're going to tune in if someone, little young Yeezy's hosting, you're tuning in anyway. You know what I mean?
Did you feel like he was a fish out of water there, though?
Definitely.
He did too.
Definitely.
Me too.
Yeah.
But we love him. He's so talented. Love you, Sebastian. Come on, DBL,
yes,
please. We've got a lot more VMA coverage coming up, including Miley Cyrus's first performance since her split from Liam Hemsworth. Plus, Miley is rocking new ink. We'll tell you what it says. And Missy Elliott won the Video Vanguard Award and proved she is beyond icon status. All of that later, so stick around. Well, Loughlin and her husband are heading to court in the college admission scandal. So let's get to Raquel Villanueva. She has the news at the moment.
Well, Sam, Loughlin and Massimo Giannulli are ready to face the college admission scandal together. Now, just hours ago, they touched down in Boston on a private jet, and this just happened 5 minutes ago. They walked into federal court holding hands, and they're going to ask a judge if they can use the same lawyer for their trial that will start early next year. Lori and her husband both face 40 years in prison for allegedly paying $500,000 to get their daughters into USC. Right now, fans are lined up outside the courtroom, and I'll keep you updated onto what's happening inside.
I wonder if she's going to change her strategy, because we saw her prior signing autographs, smiling, acting like nothing was wrong. Do you think she's going to follow the Felicity Huffman approach?
No, I mean, she flew in a private jet. Read the room, honey. It is not working. I mean, her strategy is failing. And people, like juries and judges, might not say that that doesn't influence them, but it does.
It does.
You're not listening.
But what if she's afraid to fly commercial because she's trying to dodge the scrutiny of the public eye?
That's important. That's strategy there.
Right, from Boston.
You don't show up like that and then be like, I didn't know. You look,
I agree.
It looks stupid.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you look very relatable, don't you?
Your private jet.
Wow. We're learning more about an astronaut accused of a space crime. Yesterday, we covered the story of decorated NASA astronaut Anne McClain, who allegedly got into her estranged wife's bank account from the International Space Station. Well, now her spouse is speaking out. Summer Worden says she went public with the allegations to expose what she says is the astronaut's calculated and manipulated campaign to win custody of her 6-year-old son. Here's what she told ABC News.
I was also placed under a restraining order from Anne that I could not leave Harris County with my son without Anne's written permission. It's really scary to me that as a fit and responsible parent that somebody can come and just literally stake a claim for possession of my child.
Wow. You know, I've heard of a lot of custody battles, Jeff, and divorce hearings getting dirty and ugly and the gloves come off, but seeing it played out on the world stage, seeing it like airing your dirty laundry for whatever reason you think is going to help you in court, I don't know.
I mean, we're only talking about because one person's an astronaut. That's the only reason. I mean, so many people could relate to this, unfortunately. Yep. It's a struggle that a lot of people go through. That's why it's like, I applaud people who go through this amicably, you know? It's like, it's very hard to do, and people who do that should be applauded. But it's also tough in this situation. Imagine if you're like one of the moms and you're like, do you want to go play with a spaceship, or do you want to go inside a spaceship?
I know, right?
You know, it's like...
Yes. Because one parent could be the better parent, but in the child's eyes, who knows how the child determines it, you know?
Feel like all these kinds of situations, all we do is talk about the adults and no one talks about the child. Why don't you have somebody from Child Welfare Services come in and I'm not going to use anybody on the panel because that's just bad juju to put that. But like if one of you guys was getting separated, they'd be like, okay, we have 2 normal loving parents here. Check and check. Right. So now how do we make sure that this is amicable? Let's do it like that rather than allowing the system, let each partner use the system to beat the other one with the anger. It only comes out of the kids.
It's such exploitation. It's so exploitative.
It is, but I researched this a little bit, and according to Summer's side, she had that baby 3 years before they got married. That she and that baby are very close, and it seems like an odd campaign from the astronaut has come in and obsessively wanted to take the child.
That's strange.
So there's a weirdness to me there that I think...
Although you never know, right?
Exactly.
There's 2 sides, and then there's the truth, especially when it comes to cases like this. But we all hope for the best for that child. Well, Netflix is synonymous with streaming, but it turns out the service still ships out DVDs to customers in those iconic red envelopes, and it just passed a major milestone. Check out DVD Netflix employees celebrating 5 billion shipments. The company began its DVD by mail subscription service in April of 1998, and it still has 2.4 million subscribers right now. So 2.4 million people still plan it out, the 3 to 5 days shipping, and then they sit down Saturday night, watch a little DVD. Did that surprise you, though, that so many people are still shipping in DVDs?
It did surprise me because I didn't know the numbers were that big. But there is still red boxes outside every grocery store I go to, and there's always people getting the movie. So it's like people get stuck in their ways. They don't want to go to technology, Apple, Hulu, Netflix. Which one do I get? I don't know what to get. I understand why people do this. I still listen to CDs in my car, and I enjoy it.
And he has a lot of them. He has so many of them that you apparently, you'll just like grab
So I have a drawer full of them at home, and then I'll grab a handful because I don't know what's on them, and I'll put them like.
It's
in
like a
the,
shuffle button. You're just shuffling with
yeah, and I have a 5-disc one, so I put them all 5 in, and I'm like, and I never know what's coming.
I could just see like when Lawson's old enough to start exploring the house, he's
He'll
gonna
be
go.
like,
He'd be
"What
like,
is this?"
What's in Dad's drawer?
I know.
A bunch of old silver plates.
I know.
So weird for him.
Wow.
There's no context.
So funny. DBL's live. Coming up, Aquaman star Jason Momoa could have used a superhero of his own last night. Wait till you hear why. Plus, an emotional conversation with Dog the Bounty Hunter. How he's handling the loss of his wife, Beth, and the universal lesson she taught him before she passed. And you, the viewer, are our 5th host. MTV has not rebranded one of its biggest awards, named after Michael Jackson, but in the wake of child abuse allegations, should they? Your comments are next.
Driving without car insurance?
Hey, you want to know something really weird? Steve Jobs, you guys know who that is, right?
Yeah.
It's a good point. He designed, Al, do you know this? He designed the iMac, Steve Jobs, with a handle at the top. Do you guys remember the iMac with like the weird colors?
Yeah.
Like the jelly bean colors? And everyone's like, why would you put a handle at the top of a computer, right? Like it means nothing. And he asked his mom, what would be most comfortable for you to like take a computer out of the box? And she was like, well, I'd like it to have a handle to come out of it so it's tactile. And he was like, great. So he wanted it just to feel like old and retro, and that's why that's there. And like just like the DVD on Netflix, there's something about like having the DVD. I think that's like very important. My father-in-law like needs the thing to put it in the thing. He can't just have it on
how
streaming.
we think that DVDs are so retro and old school,
I know.
but I would say all of us have at least one friend that's a crazy vinyl head that collects records.
Yeah.
You know, gets up in the morning, goes to garage sales and looks for old records. I think that some people just kind of like nostalgia, and records, they have a different sound.
They sound different.
But we also do forget that 30% of the country does not have the privilege to stream. Yeah. They just don't. They have no access to the internet completely. It's inequitable. In fact, a lot of politicians for 2020 are trying to make it completely equitable for every single community to make sure that they have access to the internet, because it is completely debilitating for a community and for those and for those individuals to not have something so important as the internet. So
yeah, and as a comic, there was a lot of comics, and I'm sure there still are, that sell CDs. Still, you know, because they have like a lot of my fans are truck drivers, and you know, there are people that are in their car and they just want to, like Jeff, just throw it on real quick.
Perfect sense. Actually, do miss the ease of a CD. Like just the ease of it all.
It would just be the scratch, the one scratch. You'd have to be a person that's diligent about.
Oh, I always had
Are
them
you
in
good
the
with
cases.
taking it out and putting it in the case right then?
I was.
Because I'll put it in the passenger seat and then I'll hit the brakes hard, then it'll go sliding on the floor and then it hits some gravel.
Like all my Rusted Root and Dave Matthews, they were all scratched. And Blues Travelers.
You were so 90s.
That's the most 90s things you could say. 1994. Great time.
When we talk about what you're talking about, congrats to Missy Elliott. She received the MTV Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award last night despite controversy. The award was named after the King of Pop in 1991 before he was first accused of child molestation. MTV says it never considered renaming the award after the release of HBO's shocking documentary Leaving Neverland. Now, one of his main accusers, Wade Robson, is calling MTV's decision to not rename the award, quote, unfortunate. So DBL Nation, did MTV make the right decision? Al, take it away.
All right, Pickle. Love that name. Pickle from Facebook says MJ pretty much invented the concept of an epic music video, and therefore his name is worthy of the award. Pickle, no matter how you feel about Mr. Jackson, you know, it's unless somebody's convicted in a court of law, obviously he's been gone before he was able to stand trial. I don't know how you could do this without setting a precedent saying that once somebody accuses you of something, then that's just the word of law, because there have been a lot of people that have been accused of something and then later exonerated. So then would you put his name back on the award? I completely understand where you're coming from. I just understand where MTV is coming from as well.
Interesting. Colleen from Twitter says it's not fair to all the people who muted Michael Jackson to be forced to acknowledge him in this way. Yeah, I mean, I do hear what Al's saying, and he's probably right, but I do feel after seeing that documentary that a reasonable person seeing that would make at least things were very uncomfortable with him sleeping over with children. So I think you should get rid of it, only to just keep it as the Video Vanguard Award without a name. I think if it causes pain and triggering, I don't know if it's the best idea.
Don from Facebook says, when Roman Polanski gets his Oscar rescinded, we can talk. Roman was convicted, MJ was not.
Wow.
That's a good point, Don, but I also think it's weird how society picks and chooses. If there was a Harvey Weinstein Award at the Oscars, would we have it, even though he was not convicted, neither was Michael Jackson?
There would be protests.
Nobody would go to the Oscars if that award still existed. So it's interesting how we pick and choose who we want to stay in the spotlight and who we don't, and who we want to believe and who we don't.
That is such a great point. Tally from Facebook says, regardless of Michael Jackson is guilty or not, MTV should rename the award so everyone can celebrate the recipient despite how they feel about Michael Jackson. I agree. Just call it the Vanguard Award. Listen, I love Michael Jackson. I loved his music. After seeing that documentary, my mind is completely changed. So I can't unhear and unsee what those young men had to say. So.
All right. Luca from Facebook says, what about slave-owning presidents on the money, or many street names, communities, and libraries named after people guilty of horrible crimes? Luca, that's right. Our country has a very sordid past.
Yep.
And for us to go back and try and retroactively punish and change things is an option, and in a lot of cases, I'm fine with that. In this situation, MTV is its own personal business, and so they can do things differently. If you're talking about something like a state-run monument that my tax dollars pay for, now we have another conversation.
There you go. Well said. Coming up on DBL, we've got more from the MTV Video Music Awards, including a heartfelt performance from Miley Cyrus, but it wasn't the song that got people talking. It was something else. And next, Dog the Bounty Hunter opens up about losing the love of his life, Beth, to cancer, what she taught him, and the funny way they met when we come back.
Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Hope you're all having an awesome day. Last night was, of course, the VMAs, the MTV VMAs, and I was living for the fashion. Later on in the show, we'll be talking about our hits and misses of the night, and also a really good fashion tip that you can take from one of the people on the red carpet and take and make your own at home. Very, very simple. Great way to update your wardrobe and just give it a life to an item in your closet that might not be being worn at the moment. So that's a tease for later on in the show, so stay tuned for that. I'll give you a hint. It was Queen Latifah's outfit. That's a hint. 45. So we were talking about the Vanguard Award, and we were saying which Missy Elliott won last night, and it was actually called the Michael Jackson Vanguard Award, and we were talking to you guys about, do you think that the name Michael Jackson should have been removed from the title, because one of the boys that were accusing, I say boys, men now, that were accusing Michael Jackson actually have asked for that to be removed, so Wade. So we'll have a little look and just see what happened online. What did you guys say? Paul Pacao Cortez on Facebook said he's a phenomenal dancer and singer, horrible human being. It's a singing award, right? It's true. Chris Pitts on Facebook said leave it alone. He's gone. It's a completely contrasting option. Oh, we're done. Bye. That was quick.
Welcome back to DBL. While mourning the death of his beloved wife, Beth, Dog the Bounty Hunter is honoring her memory by continuing the work they started in a new series called Dogs Most Wanted. Well, I sat down with him today in today's Chatting with the Stars. Dwayne Dog Chapman, also best known as Dog the Bounty Hunter, welcome to Daily Blast Live. I want to start with my deepest condolences. Beth wasn't just a major part of the show, she was a huge part of your life.
Once you find out that it's an incurable, lung cancer, where's there to go from there?
How difficult was filming this last season knowing that it might be Beth's last?
I didn't know that, Tori. I thought that she was going to make it.
Yeah.
I see every morning when you wake up, like, look at your color. You have color back in the last 3 or 4 days. The difficult to me was I was impressed about some of the things she was showing the camera.
Wow.
I'm like, God, you're gonna show them that? You're gonna do that? And she's like, Big Daddy, yes.
What did Beth teach you in life?
Love.
Wow.
She taught me love.
Wow. And do you mind if I ask how you two met?
I posted her bond for stealing lemons when she was 18 years old, and she was Senator Sandoval's secretary.
Wow.
She had never been in jail before, ever.
So out of lemons, you made lemonade. That's amazing. Now, I had, isn't that cute? You're very welcome. I wanted to ask how disappointed you must have been to experience not only the loss of Beth shortly after your store was robbed of some of her belongings. Has the theft been identified or caught? Can you let us know about that?
The chief of police of Edgewater, Colorado called me in there and said, take your badge out, raise your right hand, place your left hand on your badge.
Wow.
You swear to Almighty God in the name of the law that you will not get involved in this?
Good.
I checked yesterday. They kind of know who did it.
Wow.
You know, the Bible talks about robbing the grave or stealing from the dead, and it's one of the unpardonable sins. I think it probably is about the only one.
Right.
So I would not want to be that person.
I wouldn't
That's terrible.
Well, my love, all of DBL here just wants to give our love to you and to Beth. I know she's with you every step of the way. Also, to give you some love as a caregiver. Not a lot of people give a lot of love to caregivers, so I just want to shout out you, because it's not easy for you to go through that either.
Well, thank you, and I'd do it again.
I know you would.
Her.
You're amazing. Dogs Most Wanted premieres Wednesday, September 4th on WGN America. Dwayne Dog Chapman, thank you so much for being here on DBL, and I will pray for you and Beth.
Thank you, Tori.
Very, very sweet. We will be right back.
Promote.
Guys, so I want to come up with a new segment, and I want your name ideas. It's something about science. So every Tuesday in the New York Times, you get the Science Times, and it's my favorite section other than the crossword, duh. By the way, my husband thinks I'm the biggest dork in the world, but Ira, one of our people who works here, also enjoys the Science Times. So I'm going to give you a little rundown on some amazing inventions in this break. Okay, one, there is a guy in Holland that unfortunately with DNA testing has fathered 56 children. He was the head of a fertility company, and he is now being taken down. That's number one. Number two, if a Komodo dragon bites you or anything else, you will bleed to death because they have anticoagulants. You can't clot, right? Well, guess what? If a Komodo dragon bites another Komodo dragon, it has evolved to find a resistance to its own anticoagulants. Thank you. Coming up also, there's a really hard math problem that people have been trying to struggle with. I don't know if you guys saw this. It went viral. It's 8 divided by 2, and then in parentheses, 2 plus 2. And people didn't know which order, once you did the parentheses, to do it in. Does division take multiplication over, or does multiplication take division over? So this is all about that meme, and if you tried to solve it. It's a really interesting question about it. Now, this is the last thing I want to talk about. Exercise may lift women's moods. They're saying that a runner's high might be helpful for women who are experiencing depression. Now, I've been super honest with you guys. I've been through a lot of depression, a lot, clinically within a 5-year period in college, and I have major anxiety, and I see a trainer twice a week, and it's expensive, but my husband and I, we really need it. We need it because it's for my mind. It really helps. So if there's any women watching right now, or you have any loved ones that are going through kind of a bummer time, and they're like, I'm just not feeling myself, think about suggesting, and look this up. This is a really easy, free way. Go around to a park, take a walk with them. It can raise it, even if it's 10% happier. It's important. So make sure you talk to your female loved ones about this, because it can really help, even if you have lazy female friends. It's really important because it can change you without it needing medication. So if you have any other science questions, or you have a title for this cool science show, write me on YouTube or at info@dailyblastlive.com, or on my Instagram and follow me because I want more followers. Bye.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. Tori.
Yes, we've got some very good ones, and they're so good that I have them right here. And I'm very prepared. Okay, Dog the Bounty Hunter. Jane says, wow, I always knew I liked Dog the Bounty Hunter. That story about his wife teaching him love was tear-jerking. Wanda says, I'm a big fan of Dog the Bounty Hunter, and I never knew that story about how he met Beth until I watched Daily Blast Live. It actually wasn't in the questions. I was just never knew how the two of them met, and it was over her stealing some lemons. Wow. And again, I think it's a really, you can just see the love by the way he speaks about her.
I know.
I mean, he couldn't even keep the tears.
Him wiping his tears, like, crushed me.
Yeah.
It's got to be hard. When I saw that, people at home probably don't know when these celebrities do these interviews and we get them, they're doing it from 6 in the morning till whatever at night. And every outlet has to be asking him about his wife, and I just feel for him. He's talking about that all day.
Right.
So great interview.
It might be cathartic for him, though.
I talked about my mom, and he said, I'd pray for you, and then I say, pray for you. And it was a nice moment for caregivers to see each other.
Absolutely,
you know?
and that's important.
Yeah.
You need to feel heard and seen. Here's what's coming up next on DBL.
We've got you covered with the biggest moments from the MTV Video Music Awards. Miley, Missy, the lip syncers, and the real singers. Didn't watch? Don't worry. Then, why Aquaman Jason Momoa could have used a superhero of his own last night, and the annoying habits that everyone can agree on. Is yours on the list? Find out when DBL returns.
Hey guys! Today I am trying my very first Arby's Meat Mountain. Will it be as suspicious as the name sounds? Most likely. Let's give it a go. Now, here is my first viewing of said Meat Mountain, and it kind of looks creepy as hell. There's a lot of cheesy sauce going down the side. I don't know what you guys in America are thinking, even inventing this. This is the ultimate carnivore's dream. I can see we've got some kind of crispy onions glued together in the bun with a delightful barbecue sauce. Not sure about that. Bacon, cheese. I think it's chicken, turkey. I think it's beef or pork. I don't know, but I can't really smell it because it smells so meaty. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this. Okay, but for you guys, DBL Nation, I'm gonna give this a go. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Well, I got a mouthful of chicken and that tastes great. I think I need to try some of the more meat stuff. I just need to like get in there more. You know what? I actually really like it. That is actually really good. I'm actually not that much of a meat lover, but holy smokes.
Holy smokes.
This is an 8 out of 10. You know what? This is worth, I don't know how much it cost. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't buy this, but however much it was. The smell is a bit intense. It's very meat potent, but the taste is delicious. I think upon seeing this monstrosity of many meaty flaps, it's falling apart. Most British people would be very alarmed. I mean, when I saw it, I mean, what is this? The presentation, Arby's, I mean, you need to work on the presentation game because this isn't really selling it. Kind of looks like, it just looks a mess. But when you get past that and the smell of multiple meats, the taste is delicious.
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
Once upon a time it was
DBL, that was Miley Cyrus performing her new song at the MTV Video Music Awards. She sung her heart out last night in her first performance since splitting from husband Liam Hemsworth. But that's not the only thing that has fans talking. She debuted a new tattoo. It says, "My head was feeling scared, but my heart was feeling free."
Yeah, that's. I think I have a new fan. I'm gonna be a new fanboy. Is what I was gonna say. And she might be a fan of mine. But no, I'm honestly, you know, she's not my cup of tea. I'm not her demo. But I really do. I think back on all the great love ballads we had with people with broken hearts.
Yes.
It's just in this case, we kind of know who she's talking about. But if you think about every great song about heartbreak, they've probably been about somebody. We just happen to know this guy.
First of all, she sounded incredible.
Yes.
And you're absolutely right. She pours her heart, she wears her heart on her sleeve. And I think people are responding to that, you especially.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan before of Miley. I was open about saying that. But what she did in the Instagram post, she was very open and honest. I felt the transparency coming through. And that song was just her revealing her feelings. It was really well sung, really a great job. And I'm like, I think Miley's growing up a little bit. I still don't, keep the tongue in your mouth a little bit, you know, Michael Jordan.
Does she still do that?
I hate when she, like, I get it. You know what I mean? You were 12 when you did that.
Right,
like, start growing up a little bit, and I think that's what she's doing. So as Al, I'm a fan as well.
I do think it's interesting to compare her blurred lines. Remember at the VMAs when she came out, I think it was VMAs, when she was like humping basically Robin Thicke, and it was very uncomfortable.
You're right, compared to this.
Which
what
is,
a juxtaposition.
And think about this, Sam. She chose black and white, and there's a reason for that. I think she muted everything down. I mean, really tried to show the difference between that performance and this. She hardly moved.
And hip-hop legend Missy Elliott shut down the VMAs. She finally won the Video Vanguard Award. Missy recreated her iconic music videos by performing a bunch of her hits. Watch. And that girl in the yellow, who's now 26, do you remember that was the little girl from the original video?
Allison Stoner,
I know, it's so cool.
Yeah,
so cool. And Missy looked like she was having fun.
Yeah, I mean, from when she was singing to her acceptance speech, again, the transparency, you could feel that. You could feel when someone's real. I felt like I was in high school again. I mean, Missy crosses all lines. I know we talked about this in the show, but me and my wife actually talked about it yesterday when we were watching this. I mean, look how happy she is. It makes me happy. I mean, whether you're black, white, male, female, skinny, thicker, whatever you are, I'm not saying that in a bad way. Right.
Totally.
She has little kids dancing in the video. It brings back old memories. Crosses every genre. Everything. It's so great.
And you can see when Lizzo performs, the influence that Missy and Queen Latifah have had on those women is outrageous. And you heard Lizzo speak to it, and she said, Missy, there was a big girl, and she was ruling the stage. I had never seen that before.
True.
And when Lizzo performed, I thought, what a beautiful
What does
thing.
our Erica Cobb always say? It's like you have to see it first before you know you can be it.
That's
and
right.
honestly, there's probably a 10-year-old Lizzo.
That's it.
Like looking at Missy Elliott, who's heavy set, not just getting away with just being model-like, and everybody loves her. And Lizzo was like, hey, you know what? There's a spot for me, and here she is.
So cool. And speaking of performances, there were, of course, a ton last night, but fans are calling out Lil Nas X and the Jonas Brothers for lip syncing. Watch.
Now when it's all done, I get the upper hand. I need a big fence, not another fan, but
But we have to give it up for Lizzo, who gave it her all and didn't lip sync. Watch.
I picked that clip because I'm obsessed with that. I've seen it 7 times.
I know, right?
I can't stop. I didn't know Lizzo. Jure helped me know Lizzo in the makeup room. We would listen, and I became obsessed. And that performance after her flute twerking.
Oh, her flute twerking.
She kills it.
I know.
I mean, she took that hair toss. I was up and singing like a bad dancer.
Now, what did you think about Lil Nas X's performance? Because he clearly was lip syncing.
Horrible.
It was horrible. I do too.
Horrific.
I have to agree with her.
And I like that song.
And I get it. Some people get away with lip syncing. If J-Lo's doing like a crazy dance number, Britney Spears, like, sometimes you know that they're not going to be able to carry that tune, especially with their high level of performance, and you give them a pass. For some reason, it just did not work.
It was
with
almost
Lil
the
Nas
wrong
X.
octave. I mean, it sounded completely not like
he's done other live performances, and whether they're lip sunk or not, you never knew it.
Exactly.
So something was off last night with him. What do you think of Jonas Brothers?
I still have that giant behind Lizzo in my mind. I can't get it out of my mind.
I think it's so good.
Look at that.
So good. She also, like, they all turned around and they had bums exposed.
Yeah, it's so good. It's just so empowering
back there. I love it.
Empowering.
Yeah.
So we can't talk about an award show without our resident fashionista, Stephanie Jones, breaking it all down for us. So Stephanie, give us your fashion roundup.
So last night's fashion didn't let us down, Sam. So first up, Queen Latifah rocked this coral pantsuit with a little fringing on the legs, and this is something you can do to jazz up an old outfit in your closet. Do you reckon you could pull off that look, Sam?
I love the shoulder pads. I don't know if I could pull up the fringe on the bottom, but I think you could, Steph.
Oh, I'd love that. Lenny Kravitz rocked denim on denim, and YouTuber Tana Mosho and singer Her both accessorized with snakes, all channeling Britney Spears, which led me to wonder, where was Britney? I mean, did you guys miss her
Where was Britney? Is she just performing in Vegas still?
No,
or?
I hope she's relaxing somewhere private.
Can I ask Steph a question?
Yeah, please.
What guy can pull off the no shirt, sleeveless denim vest look? It like not between, I think definitely Jeff between me and Jeff, but like what other person
Dude,
do you think could swing that?
Can we see that again? I don't know if we're able to
because he pulls it off.
Oh, he can always pull it off.
Come on.
Yeah, but it's Lenny Kravitz.
Exactly.
He always looks
fearless with his
flawless.
fashion.
Yeah. And Lil Nas X also made a few wardrobe changes last night, but he walked the red carpet in this silver get-up. I reckon he's channeling Prince there.
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
I think so too, Steph.
Prince used to sing at his shows.
What?
Oh.
What happened?
Prince sang.
What do you
He didn't
mean?
lip sync.
Oh, that's the best.
That was
You
a
got
great Steph.
look. I'm sorry, Steph. I don't know if you agree with me. If you're gonna dress like Prince, you gotta. You make
Well,
a statement.
I thought it was
there.
a strong look, and I didn't mind his dancing, so I'm going to let that one slide and pretend I didn't hear you, Al. And it seems like plenty of stars forgot their pants, or as I would say, trousers last night, like Taylor Swift, Jonathan Van Ness, and Megan Thee Stallion, and Halsey. What do you reckon, Jeff? Do you reckon you could go pantless to work?
Maybe the panelists, but that one guy wore heels too.
Jonathan Van Ness.
I know, but I saw when he got done speaking, I'm like, he wore heels too?
Now, first of all, Jonathan's known for wearing heels, and he can work it. If you follow him on Instagram, let me tell you, he can walk better in heels than I can. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can learn a thing or two from him.
He can strut.
He struts.
We should have a high heel race.
Yes.
With the men too.
Yes, right to the urgent care. No, we're gonna break our ankles.
What do you mean the men too? I was saying me and Al, not you guys.
But what if you guys are better than Tori and I?
That's not gonna happen.
I reckon we challenge you all to a heel off.
They'll be better than I am.
Can we please, producers, do a heel race, and it should be all the hosts?
But
Is that okay?
Sure. I've been planning this for months, but I guess. Yeah, I just feel like I'm gonna blow my calf out or something.
Yes,
I don't even play intramural basketball. I'm out.
Oh no!
Yeah, I'm out. I thought it through. I thought it through. You know what?
That's what happens when you have production meetings on the air.
Yes.
Thank you, Stephanie, for your breakdown. Thank you, girl.
Thanks.
All right, can you imagine getting stuck in an elevator? Well, Aquaman's Jason Momoa did. He documented his 2-hour ordeal in a Canadian hotel elevator with 5 other people and his adorable German Shepherd. Watch.
Cannibalism. Let's do it. Fire department. Does anyone want to show up? Hey.
Yeah, that's what we're thinking.
Get us out.
I'm sitting here kind of hungry. You guys have the most hungry.
Look, at the end of the
I'm ready to eat you first, bro.
They eventually got out after taking the ceiling off. Okay, so here in the panel, who would be eaten first? If we were all stuck in an elevator and we had to resort to cannibalism, who would be eaten first?
I got some good meat on me.
Yeah, Al does.
Yeah.
I tell you, I would not allow anybody to eat me first. No.
Well, I don't think anybody ever allows it, Sam. I think it just kind of happens.
It's one of those things.
Yeah. I think you eat the weakest person. So when someone dies, you eat them.
So so you would wait till they die. But what if no one's dying?
Well, then you have to speed things along.
Yeah, would you do it like
Sam, we can all be dying at any time.
Would you do it in a democratic process, like voting, or would you be like, I'm taking matters into my own hands?
I don't know. If the votes were against me, I don't know how I would take that.
It is true. There's legal discussions about if you're trapped in, let's say, an enclave or a cave, I'm telling you that murder is different when you don't have an outside and you can vote and
like the movie Alive. Remember Alive?
Yeah.
Remember that? Stephanie remembers. She's shaking her head. You remember Alive, Al?
I do. They could recreate it. Only this is a drunken Alive. They look like they had some. They snuck some beer onto the elevator in their bellies.
Oh yeah.
That's all right. They might.
That's okay.
Every situation we have, Al thinks they're drunk.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeff, can we play his initial? Can we play when he first comes on the elevator really quickly? He's feeling no pain, Schroeder.
What? I didn't catch that at all.
Oh man.
Oh, maybe you're right. Oh wait, you might be right.
Yeah, I might be.
He's just a big guy and he talks like that.
Yeah, I think so too. He's got the Hawaiian vibe. No, and he's from Hawaii, and he does everything is always like cool man, shaka. Like he really does talk that way. I don't think he was wasted.
No, you don't think so?
I don't. No.
Okay. No drinks at all?
Maybe a few.
Okay. That's how you bargain.
Coming up on DBL, important advice for single women, all about managing your finances. Don't miss dollars and cents. But first, annoying habits that drive us bonkers. We'll share the top things people do that everyone hates and some of our very own. When we come back.
All right. Michael Loughlin says lip syncing to your own dang music is enough to have an award taken away. I agree with Sam. If you're Britney, I expect you to lip sync. I'm not really listening to singing.
I expect J-Lo to lip sync.
And J-Lo's fine. She dances her heart out. Again, the Jonas Brothers, I don't know if it's an excuse, but if you watch their performance, they went from like in the Stone Pony where they got their start in Jersey to like they walked outside, they did a red carpet, they passed some Toyotas, which was weird because it was for advertisement. Then they went on a stage, so like maybe they had to lip sync because of the sound.
I didn't think they were lip syncing.
I didn't either. I definitely didn't pick that up.
If you're not sure, then give them the
Yeah, because but Lil Nas X sounded like
But there was a
Barry
lot of
White was
movements
singing.
for them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I kind of get it, but I didn't think they were.
Right, but you know what I'm saying? The sound might have been hard to continue.
Right.
Walking
So I
all
get
way.
that.
So they walked from outside the venue.
From inside Stone Pony to outside and the red carpet, and then to another huge stage on the Jersey Shore.
okay.
So there's a lot of like components there. But Lil Nas X is, I don't know if that's how he normally sounds, but usually he sounded like Barry White was singing. It was like, it was just different.
We've seen him perform at the BET Awards.
fine.
We've seen him perform many times on this show, and I don't ever remember having a reaction like that.
Yeah.
So I think
It was
something
pretty
was
bad.
off. I don't know if it was audio.
One of them was in an 8th grade gym.
Which one?
right,
Which
that's
one?
I don't know if I have ever seen him perform.
Which one was the
the one
8th
when he
grade
went
gym?
to
For the
Cleveland,
kids,
Ohio.
You're right.
Surprise
Yeah,
the kids.
BET Awards he performed.
Yeah. Those are like
Mm-hmm.
third graders. Yeah. that
Zoe
was-
Rose says, well-deserved, Missy was the best, hands down. You know what I thought was nice? She dedicated the award after a really beautiful, inspirational speech to the dance community. And I didn't know if it was in direct context with the Lara Spencer situation, but she brought all her dancers on.
I don't think so. I think she just, in all of her videos since she
always has
began,
so many
has
dancers.
crazy, awesome
She
dancers.
respects them.
So I think, I don't think it has.
Okay,
I
good.
don't-
Well,
we just-
she stood up for them and did a great job. They were so thankful. She's like, they are the heartbeat of the song. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
You know what else I noticed when they were talking to everybody, like Timberland and everybody? They showed Pharrell, and I'm like, dude, that guy looks exactly the same
He's
as he
50
did
years
50
old,
years
dude.
ago.
I know.
How does he
Oh
look
my
like
God.
that?
That guy's
I said the
an
exact, I
alien.
go, that guy's 50.
Oh,
Yeah.
He looks exactly.
He's like,
Welcome back to DBL. Everyone has a bad habit or two, like talking during movies or taking their shoes off on a plane. Today, we are taking a look at some of the most annoying habits that other people have. Let us know the quirks you can't stand using the hashtag DBLTake. First up is standing in the middle of an escalator, not allowing people to pass. That is so
that's
rude.
mine.
Move. That is so rude. Be aware of your surroundings.
Sam, you shouldn't have done this. This is going into a dark place.
rude.
But like, I go to the airport
Yep.
every weekend, and they're fully healthy, functional adults
In the middle.
standing
I know.
on the escalator, and you can see the tram coming, and I'm like, you still are not going to walk
Oh,
down.
yeah.
There's still stairs.
Oh, believe me,
You can
I've
manage
gone through
these.
it. I wouldn't pass me to be like, move.
yeah, me neither.
It's
If
like-
especially the tram is coming.
You see the tram
And I'm like,
coming.
get out of the way!
Seriously.
What is it where you just stand on an escalator with your bag next
Now,
to you?
didn't my husband make the tram and you missed the tram when you guys went to Vegas, or is it the opposite? Was he lily-dallying and missed the tram?
No, I think he
Lollygag.
jumped on.
Oh, lollygag.
He jumped on.
Oh, he jumped, but you missed it.
Yeah, in fairness, they come every 90 seconds.
Jeff, you got your thing, I got mine.
So I get annoyed if I miss that tram. I get anxious. Next up is when someone sings along to a song and they don't know the lyrics. Okay, I'm guilty of this.
Erica Cobb.
I'm guilty of this.
Don't look at her turn around. She's gonna kill me.
Is Erica Cobb one?
No, Erica makes up her own fake songs, and I call her out. I'll hear. Rob, take your time and get over there. I can hear her coming around the corner. She'll be like, doop 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 ba ba ba, and I'm like, that's not a song. I don't even have to hear. I'm like, that's Erica making up a song.
Erica, is that true?
I don't make up songs. That is completely false, Al. I do not make up songs. What I do is I let the spirit move me, and it lifts me, and I just go wherever the spirit takes me. So there are songs always playing in my heart.
Do not let Erica herself out of this.
Right. No. Erica's right. Yes, she is. Yep, she's right. Erica's right. Thank you, Erica. Yep, the spirit moves her.
So then why don't you do that when you mess up a saying? You don't go, oh, I just was being Sam. You go, no, I messed that up. It was lollygagging.
Because a saying everyone knows. We don't know.
And I know that's not a song.
It is for her. No. Okay, we got another annoying habit to get to. We endlessly talking about how busy you are. That's annoying. That is. But it doesn't, whatever. Who cares? But it is annoying.
I think just everybody wants to connect, but when you start doing that, it kind of makes it seem like, oh, I'm not busy, so you're telling me about your day. I think every adult is just super busy, and we just want to be like, please tell me it's okay.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
You're the busiest person I know. You never bring it up.
The busiest.
What do you mean?
You're super.
You have 18 things to do.
I do. I'm dead tired.
You have 2 full-time jobs, a child, a husband. Yeah, you do your thing, girl.
You just got to keep hustling, right?
I love for you. Mother hustlers.
Thank you. And finally, chewing with your mouth open. Yeah, that's gross.
Look at that guy.
That's a gross habit.
A little much.
It's just not a good one.
Who is that?
Now, Jeff, you're known for your rants. Is there one habit, whether it's on the airplane or whether it's just given life, that it completely takes you from 0 to 100?
There's a long
Which
list.
one is coming to your mind right now?
Returning your shopping cart and your turn signal on a daily. People who don't use their turn signals, I want to like track down. I hate it.
Tori, do you return your shopping cart?
So yesterday I was actually shopping at Tuesday morning, and I was like about to go leave my shopping cart.
How old are you?
Tuesday morning had a great deal on pillows. Anyway.
I've never even heard of that store.
It's a
Because you're
store.
under 300 years old.
What is it, like a home good?
Yeah. I
Never heard of it either.
I wanted more cross
Never heard of Tuesday morning. You made that up.
I swear, people have heard of it, right?
Okay.
Okay. Anywho, I returned the shopping cart to the correct one because of you, buddy.
This is the first time you've done that in your 40s?
No, but as I did, I was like, thinking about, no, I'm 37. So this is what I should do, and I thank Jeff for reinforcing that. I usually do it, but it helped me do it to the right one.
Well said, Tori.
Tuesday morning. We'll be right back.
Too bad I never go there because I can't.
Hey, welcome back to Beauty Blast, guys. Thanks for joining me, and if you didn't know, I'm Dre for the Slay, and today we're talking about some of the new beauty trends that are coming. Now, I had to use my sidekick powers and go ahead and look into the future a little bit to see what's going on with the beauty world. We've seen a lot happen in the last couple of years, from big bushy brows to these crazy highlights on the face and everything in between. But I feel like we're actually rolling back into some great eras with what's going on in the near future for fall beauty trends. Now, for our 2019 fall beauty trends, I'm seeing monochromatic looks everywhere. Now, these are great because you're using something like a lipstick that you're wearing. Think of a red lipstick, and you're taking that same color and applying it to your cheeks, and maybe even to the high temples of your cheekbones as well. And then sometimes, like we did with Lex a couple weeks ago, go back and look at that video, even using it on the eyes. Now, I'm seeing this pop up more and more on fashion walkways, so I'm thinking it's gonna catch on into fall as well. Now, another look that I see coming on up is graphic liner. Yes, I'm here for this look so much. Remember the 60s, very like Kennedy-esque, those big wing liners, or sometimes more of like that liner that just is etched out on the eye, and more designed looks overall in general. These are great for really making sure that you're making a look that is you're making a look that says something, okay? You can really step out into these looks, which I'm here for. Take any type of liquid liner. My personal favorite is actually Maybelline 24-Hour Precision Studio Liner. It's thebomb.com, and it's cheap, honey, so you never have to worry about it just going out on you, okay? Now, for more fall beauty trends. Let's talk about some more actually next week, and you can check part 2 out for our next video. Go ahead and make sure that you're following at Jure for the Slay and Daily Blast Live for more beauty blasts, and we'll see you guys next time.
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live. Budgetologist Felicia Jones is back in the studio, and we are talking managing finances as a single woman in today's Dollars and Cents, presented by John Hancock. Very interesting topic today. I like it, Felicia.
It's going to be a good one.
I like it, and thanks for being here, as always.
Thank you.
You ready to jump right in with our question?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. This question is from Sheila through Facebook. She asks, I'm recently single after a 20-year marriage and was never the one in charge of finances. What advice do you have?
You know, this is a really good question because a lot of women find themselves in this situation. So what we're going to do is jump into a couple of tips and when it comes to single women and finances. So first thing that Sheila should do is pay herself first.
Okay.
You know, 44% of single women have less than $1,000 of saving. So what Sheila will need to do is make savings a hobby and make sure she puts money into an emergency fund or other savings first each month. So that's the big one.
Okay.
The next thing is Sheila needs to protect her credit. Because single women, you know, we don't have another income to rely on, so you're going to have to really make sure that credit stays high, and it helps you get favorable loans and rates and interest rates and things like that.
Is that basically just paying your bills on time?
Yes, exactly. Keep that credit score as high as you can, pay your bills on time, pay off all your debt, you know, keep it, and keep this up on a regular basis.
Right.
And then finally, we're going to leverage community and work resources. Now, this is so cool because we are in a time where financial education is pretty much around every corner. So we're going to tell Sheila to make sure she goes and get financial education, tap into resources in her community, and you know what, and get a debt accountability partner if she wants to pay off debt. So
there
that's
you
a good
go.
one. Yeah.
There you go. Who needs to go get one of those reliable people when we have you, Felicia?
Yes, I'm here.
You're here for us, and we love it. Thank you so much, Felicia. And to submit your financial questions for the next Dollars and Cents, please email askmrsjones@dailyblastlive.com. And for info about life insurance and retirement planning, call John Hancock at 1-800-978-0663. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Welcome back to the DBL Stream Team. I'm Leo here with Kelly, where we talk all about trending shows on Hulu, Netflix, and Amazon Prime. Today we're here to talk about Sextuplets, a Netflix original written by Marlon Wayans, actually, and he stars as the sextuplets themselves.
All of them.
Yeah, all of them, and they've been separated at birth, and there's 6 of them, and they've finally been reunited 38 years later. And you know, Kelly, I'm gonna go to you first. What were your
Leo
thoughts
knows.
about
We
it?
kind of already talked about it. I didn't love it. I was looking for, like, I've been seeing this preview for the past couple days on Netflix. You know, when you turn Netflix on to go to bed, I've been seeing that preview. Looks really good, looks really funny. I gave it a chance. I didn't love it, Leo. I expected to be laughing out loud the whole time, and there were only a couple giggles.
Yeah, you know, and I felt like the characters themselves were great.
Really,
like, I
really
loved
great.
every single sextuplet.
Yeah.
But I thought the writing could have been a little bit stronger. I thought it could have been a little bit less of a predictable storyline.
Yep. The only part I liked was when Dawn, the one sister, is talking to the guys at the gas station.
Yeah, that's actually
that was the
a great
funniest part.
scene.
So if you watch it, you'll see
and
that
I feel
scene.
like the sextuplets were great, but except the main guy, the main character, Marlon Wayans himself,
great.
was a little bit.
And I wonder if he was focused so much on the other characters that he didn't bring it out as much in himself, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe not. But hey, check that out. It's streaming on Netflix right now. And for our classic show this week, we're doing the classic Twilight Zone, everybody.
Ooh.
Which, I mean, if you loved Black Mirror and you haven't seen the classic Twilight Zone, this is like the original Black Mirror.
place to be.
It's ambiguous, every episode is different, and it's an anthology series, so everything's different, guys. Go check that out now on either Hulu or Amazon Prime. And coming up this week on Hulu, Mission Impossible Fallout, the latest installment in the franchise, guys. Check that out. It's starring Henry Cavill this time, so you got a little bit of Tom Cruise, Henry Cavill action going back and forth. Check it out, streaming on Hulu right now, y'all. And we'll see you next time on the DBL Stream Team.
Welcome back to DBL. A clip from our show all about chicken sandwiches has gone viral. If you didn't see it, check it out. Take a moment, savor it. Jeff looks a little bit more reactionary on this one. I feel like he's feeling the Popeyes.
That's seasoning.
Okay, he's into the Popeyes.
Tori, does that taste like a neighborhood you've never been to?
Oh my God! Stop it! Well, now an Instagram influencer put his own spin on it and turned it into a musical. But of course, watch.
That seasoning. Okay, he's into the Popeye. Boy, does that taste like a neighborhood you've never been to. Oh my God! Stop it! Chew, chew slowly. No, that fry is not cute. Nope. I've got my favorite. Okay, what is it? Point, 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 point. Popeyes!
So good. I just love it because I think why a lot of people resonated, obviously your joke was hilarious, but we razz each other.
We love each other on the show. That's it.
It was a righteous burn.
That's right. My people.
We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye, guys.
So I'm Jeff Schroeder, and we're all going to be learning a new word today. So I'm just randomly going to pick something out of a dictionary that's already been preset, and I'm going to give you my take on what I think it is. So let's get our first word. Chlorofluorocarbon. This is definitely on the table of elements, and you inhale this, whether in a gas or pill form, and it makes you run super fast. Chlorofluorocarbon. I didn't get that right at all, did I?
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
You think this hair just naturally stays like this?
Daily Blast Live starts right now.
Well, thank you, Dog the Bounty Hunter. I love that. Don't miss our emotional and funny interview with Dwayne Chapman later in the show. Trust me, you guys don't want to miss that. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Tuesday, August 27th. I'm here with Erica, Tori, and Al. I'm Jeff. Welcome back, Erica Cobb.
Thank you.
You look rejuvenated. I love it.
I feel rejuvenated. Thank you very much.
All right, well, let's dive right in. The water's warm. That one never gets old. And that was Taylor Swift, of course, performing at last night's VMAs on MTV. She took home the coveted Video of the Year award for her song, You Need to Calm Down. And during her acceptance speech, the 29-year-old singer got political, calling out the White House. Let's watch.
I first want to say thank you to the fans because in this video, several points were made. So you voting for this video means that you want a world where we're all treated equally under the law. I want to thank everyone who signed that petition because it now has 500,000 signatures, which which is 5 times the amount that it would need to warrant a response from the White House.
And Taylor's Equality Act petition calls for equal rights for the LGBTQ community. Listen, I watched the show last night. I think it's great for Taylor and her brand, what she's doing for the community. Man, did I feel old. I felt way out of touch, man. I really did. Yeah, Erica, everyone they showed. I'm like, is that a fan or is that a famous singer? I didn't know the difference.
I know, but MTV skews so young that it's like, I don't even feel bad about it anymore. Like when people are like, oh, who's your favorite artist? I'm like, Lionel Richie.
I don't know what to tell you.
You know, I know he's going to be around for the rest of my life. I don't know if, like, you know, DJ Flumple Twig is going to be around next year.
He goes by Lil Flumple Twig. Lil Flumple Twig.
Yeah, I mean, I think unless you cover music for a living, you're gonna, like, everybody's busy. You're just gonna, there's gonna be a year where you just don't hear the new songs and it kind of doubles on itself. But I don't feel bad, Jeff. I just pick like 1 or 2 people every year and just find out who people are talking about and then just keep bringing them up. And no one will know them most.
I was like, Lizzo, Normandy, and then I'm like, I'm good for a little while.
Yeah.
But I knew very few people. But I thought Taylor's, the difference between 10 years ago when Kanye took the mic until her now trolling the president was a big step up for her. And I'm glad she's getting into the mix of advocacy. I'm proud of her. I think the DJ in Denver spurred something for her to be an activist. And I think it's good for everyone.
Yeah, I love Missy Elliott. She's my favorite part of the show, but stick around. We're going to be breaking that all down later on. This was another one of my favorite parts of the show.
Oh, it was good.
I liked it. John Travolta had a very awkward moment again at the show last night. Trust me, we're going to refresh your memory. And if you blinked, you might have missed it. He appears to try to hand the award to drag queen Jade Jolie instead of Taylor Swift, but it's in his defense, Jade is a T-Swift impersonator.
Yeah, and a good one.
Yeah, so I mean, listen, we all remember the Oscar moment, right? If you guys don't, let's play it back. Let's play it back.
Can't wait.
Here to perform the Oscar-nominated, gorgeously empowering song, Let It Go, from the Oscar-winning animated movie Frozen, please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem.
That's what happened.
Listen, John Travolta's earned his right to screw up. I love John Travolta.
He sounded like a magician. That's like, everybody just found out he's like not what he says he is. It's like, oh, I can do a spell. Yeah, I mean, honestly, when you have to host things, Erica, you host as many things as I do. You see crazy names sometimes, and for myself, a technique that I think he was trying to do is like when you can't say the person's last name, you try and get the audience kind of clapping for you. Like, I'm not gonna bring him on stage unless I don't know how to say showman. So start clapping for the girl. She's in the pink dress. She's on her way up. I want people to start clapping. They'll be like, Tori Showman. You know? But I mean, it was so quiet.
It's a great strategy, but Idina Menzel. That's right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Like, I know, but I don't know. Because here's the thing. Everybody acts so woke. Y'all are fake woke, okay? How many people really knew her name, who was like, oh, John Travolta's so out of touch. You didn't know who he was talking about either. Because unless you were talking about Wicked, Let It Go, like that was a genre that we didn't know. The best thing John Travolta can do for you is mispronounce your name.
You're right.
Because then at least people are going to Google, like, well, who was he talking about? And that's when we started talking about Idina Menzel. I was on radio at the time, and I was like, who? I don't know.
Exactly.
We didn't play her. She wasn't in our genre.
That made her career take off.
Like,
exactly.
I was a Broadway nerd, and I'm like, he mispronounced Idina Menzel. How could he? And then I realized you're absolutely right. No one knew who she was, and now everybody
acted like they did. I was at Chicago's Hits and Hip Hop at that time. Why would I be talking about her? But we were talking about her that day. So everybody who acts like they're so woke and know what's going on, y'all are fake woke.
Oh, boom.
I'm serious.
Is that Urban Dictionary?
I like it. All right, guys, we've got a lot more VMA coverage coming up, like I said, including Miley Cyrus's first performance since her split from Liam Hemsworth. Plus, Miley is rocking new ink, and we'll tell you what it says. And Missy Elliott won the Video Vanguard Award and proved she's beyond icon status. All of that later, so stick around. I did a double tease there. I teased it before the tease.
Proud of you.
Loughlin, Tori loves this, and her husband are in court right now. Let's get up to Raquel Villanueva. She has news at the moment.
That's right, Jeff. Loughlin and Massimo Giannulli just
just walked into federal court hand in hand to face the college admission scandal together. Now, the couple walked into the Boston courtroom through the back entrance while fans were lined up to see them in the front. They will ask a judge if they can use the same lawyer for their trial that will start early next year. Lori and her husband both face 40 years in prison for allegedly paying $500,000 to get their daughters into USC. Now, early this morning, they touched down in a private jet in Boston, and I'll keep you updated on this case.
Read the room, Lori. Don't take a private jet.
Thanks, Raquel. Yeah, so, but what if that is part of their strategy? What if they're like,
bad strategy.
No. What if they're like, listen, money is no object to us. $500,000, we're just trying to give the best to our daughter. We take private jets here. That's how we roll.
It's to me, and maybe that is their strategy. To me, that's not how I would play it. The strategy to show themselves as humble, or I've learned from this mistake, or I understand that this was bad, is not coming across. And as much as we don't want it to mean something to the judge and jury, it does.
But see, last week, and we talked about this in Access, or in a later show, I don't know if we ever talked about it during daytime, but Lori Loughlin's camp, or people close to her, have come forward and said that she has done a complete 180 because she just felt like she sincerely did not understand the gravity of what was happening. I'm not hung up on the private jet because, to be really honest about it, some people, it's just a form of transportation. So it wouldn't be any different than taking a car or hopping on Southwest. So that doesn't bother me. But I do think that we saw a very different Lori than we saw when she was in Boston the first time, where she came in through the front and she was smiling. Yeah. She's looking down like she's, like being guided by her husband, and it seems like she was a lot more humble than she was
before. Do you think like an Erica Cobb got her in the corner somewhere at a house party and was like, hey, this is serious?
I don't know if Erica Cobb did, but
she's probably got a team of Erica Cobbs telling her.
But they had been saying that ahead of time, though. They had been saying that before.
What does that mean? That I say what I
like a good close friend to be like, hey, I love you.
I don't think it's a friend. I think it's like you go to professional help, like a PR company.
But if you do have someone like that, which I think she probably does with all that money, they should have thought, and I'm being serious here, that the image of her taking a private jet to this will play poorly in the court of public opinion.
But again, like I said, what if it's the exact opposite? What if they're like, show that you have so much money that $500,000 is nothing to you? It's like giving $20 to a university to help your kid out. What if you're proving that you have so much money?
It's a strategy, just not one I would take.
I'm telling you right now, I do not believe that the private jet even was a factor for even a crisis manager.
I'm just saying for public opinion,
because here's the thing. Here's the other thing. So what are they supposed to do? Take a Greyhound? Because if they ended up going
I would take a private jet.
But they have to fly somewhere.
I agree, but
so now you have all of this footage at LAX. As opposed to just that one. That's a way to contain the situation.
I would take a quiet car and figure out how to slide in there. You don't want to show up in a private jet when you're the one who's saying I have money issues. To me, it rubbed me the wrong way.
Unfortunately, we've seen a lot of entertainers, whether they're athletes, the famous wide receiver Michael Irvin, I believe he went to court in a white mink coat like years ago in the 90s. And it's just like people, and you see other rappers, they cut their hair and they go in a shirt and tie. It's like, it's a strategy. However you want to show up, you can show up like Cardi B or you can not, but it is it's clearly some lawyer has had some influence either way.
Right, but we don't see footage of them getting out of a private jet because that footage doesn't exist. If they went to LAX, that footage would exist.
But
and how do you get from LA to Boston?
But hearing that they came from a private jet, I think matters in terms of the court of public opinion.
To you it does, to other people it might not.
True.
That's why we talk about it on the show, because we never agree. All right, Netflix is synonymous with streaming, but it turns out the service still ships out DVDs to customers in those iconic red envelopes. Remember those? And it just passed a major milestone. Check out DVD Netflix employees celebrating 5 billion shipments, and the company began its DVD by mail subscription service in April of 1998, and it still has 2.4 million subscribers. Hey, everyone's still hitting up Redbox, you know what I mean? I see it all the time, so why isn't this still a thing?
I think everybody's got their technology that they won't let go. I remember my grandmother, God rest her soul, I think it wasn't until the last couple of years of her life that she got call waiting. Because you could call on the landline, but call waiting back for people that are from the South, they would see that as very disrespectful. Like, I'm talking to you, Jeff. Why would I click over and talk to Erica? That's disrespectful to you. It's like, that's old school.
Yeah.
See, most people, though, have to be made to make the switch. It's the day that DVDs stop getting made that they make that switch. Because anytime you have a situation where your local cable provider or local access channel is going digital, they run those commercials over and over to let them know that they're not going to be able to watch TV if they don't do this switch, that's when you get the people who are like, stuck in their ways to make the switch because they don't have any reason not to be
they're like, I watched 5 shows and they're all on this TV. Why do I need Apple
why would
TV,
I change?
you know?
Yeah. My father-in-law goes out, he likes to go to the mailbox, he likes the feeling of having something there instead of finding it remotely. He likes the tactile part of the DVD. And I think that's a lot of the older generation.
So does this one.
Yeah, I like a good
that's
CD.
right.
I still listen to CDs. Listen, we have a new car with XM radio, except I don't drive it. So I have the old one with the CD player.
There you go.
And I like my CDs. All right, guys, DBL is live and coming up. Aquaman star Jason Momoa could have used a superhero of his own last night. Wait till you hear why. Plus, an emotional conversation with Dog the Bounty Hunter. How he's handling the loss of his wife Beth and the universal lesson she taught him before she passed. And then you guys are the 5th host. MTV has not rebranded one of its biggest awards named after Michael Jackson, but in the wake of child abuse allegations, should they? Your comments next.
I was refinancing last night, and the guy that came to my house, and I said, oh, we have a rap show, and he thought I was a rapper.
I just
He's like, oh, are you some kind of...
Well, tell our viewers what a rap show is.
So rap show is like a rap, W-R-A-P, and it's when we want to have like an evergreen, which you might not know. It's like a show that we can have without anything timely, so we can kind of show it whenever, right?
Yeah.
Is that
well,
in a
rap show means wrap around, like we're going to take the clips that we already have and wrap around discussions around that. So on Monday, when everybody's on vacation, we can take a day off too, while you could still enjoy DBL.
That's right. That's Labor Day.
Labor Day. I always get those confused.
I always do too. It's terrible.
And it's weird. Labor Day doesn't mean as much anymore because that used to be when school started. But I feel like kids have already been in school. My kids have been in school 2 weeks now.
No, a lot of people just started yesterday.
Really?
Yes.
Hi! Being really awkward.
What's going on?
Tori is my teacher of the day.
I've selected some things to edit, and I have to send her. It's just my phone's not working in here. I know, but I will do it as soon as I leave. I can do a walkout too.
What's a walkout mean?
Just walk out?
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
No. Tori's been proofreading a piece of work I did.
And it's fantastic. It's an interview.
It's an interview.
With who? Tell us.
I just want. Oh, it's a surprise for everyone.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Maybe not.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for 5th host, and we talk about what you're talking about. Congrats to Missy Elliott. She received the MTV Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award last night, despite controversy. The award was named after the King of Pop in 1991, before he was first accused of child molestation. MTV says it never considered renaming the award after the release of HBO's shocking documentary, Leaving Neverland. Now one of his main accusers, Wade Robeson, is calling MTV's decision to not rename the award unfortunate. So DBL Nation, did MTV make the right decision here? Let's get right to your comments.
All right, well, Sherry from Facebook says, leave him alone and let him rest in peace. Plus, he was never found guilty of these charges. Sherry, I think you're echoing a lot of the sentiments of a lot of people, especially in this world, in the music world, because this was a situation different than like Cosby or R. Kelly, where they can and will see their day, or have and will see their day in court. Michael Jackson saw his day in court, and the same people who are accusing him, regardless of if you think he's innocent or guilty, were the ones who also corroborated the fact that he was innocent. So I think that's where a lot of the pushback comes from, and also I don't know if this is a precedent that MTV is willing to set.
Well said. Marcos from Facebook says, what we know for sure is that he's done more good than bad, and the bad is still questionable. Marcus, I think Erica hit it right on the head. We're just dealing with a lot, I think, just as a society, as a group of people. We're wondering how we want to move forward, knowing what we now know about our past. They say that ignorance is bliss, and we don't really know what kind of guy Frank Sinatra was. And we don't know these things. All we have is these idealized images of them. But now, for a lot of the people that we idolize, we do know who they were. So we have to figure out how we want to move forward. And I think we should do that as a team. I think anything legal, of course, you cut that cord, but it gets a little murky, like Erica said.
I hear that. Jordy from Facebook says, I think they need to rename it after Taylor Swift. She can do no wrong. Past the crown, you need to calm down. Jordy, that's awesome. I love Swift too, but I don't think it should be named after her. Michael Jackson was an epic video maker for music. He changed the industry, so I understand why they would name it after him. I don't know. I just wish they maybe take the name off. But I hear what Erica and Al are saying. Without a conviction, this is a precedent that is a bit of a slippery slope.
Like, what if it was Kevin Spacey?
Well, that's what I was saying. If it was the Harvey Weinstein Award at the Oscars, even though he was not convicted yet, it would be gone already. So it's interesting how we pick and choose in society.
I do think that that's different, though, because there is the option to take it to court, and he's still around to see his day.
Right.
There's nothing that you can do at this point in order to get, like, you can't take Michael Jackson to court and he's dead. Like. So that's different.
But Harvey hasn't been convicted yet either. You know what I mean? But they would have definitely taken the name down.
But it's an ongoing case.
Yeah, I hear both sides.
Yeah.
I hear it. Not like I'm on one
Everybody hasn't been convicted yet until they have.
That's true.
So
That's true.
It's tough.
That's true.
All right, coming up on DBL, we've got more from the MTV Video Music Awards, including a heartfelt performance from Miley Cyrus. But it wasn't the song that got people talking, it was something else. And next, Dog the Bounty Hunter opens up about losing the love of his life, Beth, to cancer. What she taught him and the funny way they met when we come back.
That's the same scenario. He was convicted of a civil suit of wrongful death, but still, I think that'd be enough to get it off.
Maybe because of the civil suit.
But it's like if somebody's just accused of being a bad dude, I think that's when it's just like, I'm trying to think of somebody who's passed away that we've all kind of agreed to.
Well, Frank Sinatra is a great example. He was a womanizer. Apparently, he was nasty drunk. But people are just like, he's the coolest. But people, if nowadays there were cameras on him, it might not be the same. But
that whole group.
Yeah, the rap was all like that. But I do want to bring up Erica's point because I noticed too, Missy Elliott said the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award twice. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. She is purposefully, deliberately cementing that name. And she was giving credit for it. It was not as if she did it on by accident. I saw that too.
Reading a cue card.
No, she purposely said
That's what it's called.
But she said it in a way.
But she could have skipped
She said,
over
thank
the
you so
cue
much for the
had, like,
Michael
real
Jackson.
problems with it.
Right. She said the
That
video
could have been her own
Michael
personal
Jackson.
protest, you know?
It seemed like
it. It seemed like if she said it the way you said it.
That's the way I took it.
Intentional.
Yeah. It's interesting.
And again, Missy, it's like everybody's allowed to have their opinion about these things. And
You know what Missy said?
Right, I'm not kidding.
yeah.
Peter Gabriel and Busta Rhymes for videos.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Busta Rhymes is that crazy.
He said he and Peter Gabriel. I thought, what a mix of people. Welcome back to DBL. While mourning the death of his beloved wife, Beth, Dog the Bounty Hunter is honoring her memory by continuing the work they started in a new series called Dogs Most Wanted. I sat down with him in today's Chatting with the Stars. Dwayne Dog Chapman, also best known as Dog the Bounty Hunter, welcome to Daily Blast Live. I want to start with my deepest condolences. Beth wasn't just a major part of the show, she was a huge part of your life.
Once you find out that it's an incurable, lung cancer, where's there to go from there?
How difficult was filming this last season knowing that it might be Beth's last?
I didn't know that, Tori. I thought that she was going to make it.
Yeah.
I see every morning when you wake up, I look at your color. You have color back in the last 3 or 4 days. The difficult to me was I was impressed about some of the things she was showing the camera.
Wow.
I'm like, God, you're going to show them that? You're going to do that? And she's like, Big Daddy, yes.
What did Beth teach you in life?
Love.
Wow.
She taught me love.
Wow. And do you mind if I ask how you two met?
I posted her bond for stealing lemons when she was 18 years old, and she was Senator Sandoval's secretary.
Wow.
She had never been in jail before, ever.
So out of lemons, you made lemonade. That's amazing. Now, I had, isn't that cute? You're very welcome. I wanted to ask how disappointed you must have been to experience not only the loss of Beth shortly after your store was robbed of some of her belongings. Has the theft been identified or caught? Can you let us know about that?
The chief of police of Edgewater, Colorado called me in there and said, take your badge out, raise your right hand, place your left hand on your badge.
Wow.
You swear to Almighty God in the name of the law that you will not get involved in this?
Good.
I checked yesterday. They kind of know who did it.
Wow.
The Bible talks about robbing the grave or stealing from the dead, and it's one of the unpardonable sins. I think it probably is about the only one.
Right.
So I would not want to be that person.
I wouldn't
that's terrible.
Well, my love, all of DBL here just wants to give our love to you and to Beth. I know she's with you every step of the way. Also, to give you some love as a caregiver. Not a lot of people give a lot of love to caregivers, so I just want to shout out you, because it's not easy for you to go through that either.
Well, thank you, and I'd do it again.
I know you would.
Her.
You're amazing. Dogs Most Wanted premieres Wednesday, September 4th on WGN America. Dwayne Dog Chapman, thank you so much for being here on DBL, and I will pray for you and Beth.
Thank you, Tori.
So sad. We will be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
We're on, I think. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
I
loved it.
Wait, that was quite like...
Oh, by the way, she asked the other day for a plaster, and no one knew the heck what she was talking about.
Oh,
it's a Band-Aid.
Yeah, I cut my ankle.
Wait, how'd you say it?
Can I have a plaster? It took a while for everyone to work out what it was.
I thought she wanted a cast of herself. It was really cute.
Oh wait, no. The reason why Tori's been slightly distracted, which is it's down to me and my fault, because Tori's been helping me with I've been doing an interview.
It's a really good interview, by the way.
And I asked Tori to help me proofread it because sometimes my spelling and grammar isn't always great.
It's actually very good. There's only one thing that I dislike, and it's just when someone ends with a preposition, and I don't know if any of you do that. She did it once, and it's like, I'm changing one thing.
I don't even know what that means.
You know when you're like this? And that's where I found out about him when okay, this is not a good example. Hold on, when you go, I went to the store that he was in. You shouldn't end with in.
Right.
But it's not a big deal, and no one would know. But it's something that I was taught in 4th grade by Robin, my teacher, who would take the scissors from school, you know those orange scissors, and clip her little nails, and they'd flick, 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 flick. Oh, gross. Anyway, I always learned that, and to never use the word got. G-O-T, because you can think of something more creative.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so it's just a preposition, but it's an amazing article, and it's in print, so you guys can read it, and it sounds
We'll post it when
her
it comes.
voice, though, is coming through. Clear.
Which is
a challenge.
Which isn't easy to do, but it's definitely coming through. You can hear the British accent. It's like a darling.
But maybe that's because you're reading it and you know me so
No,
well.
it's done well. I mean, it's written in your voice very well. I think something that people don't know very well when they write or learn is how to write in their own voice or find their own voice, and I think that's super important for anyone trying to make it in the industry. As a comedian, as a host, as an actress, is get your own voice down, because that's so unique to her. Like, this is such a Steph interview.
Oh, well, there we go, guys. You can read it and all of my trials and tribulations of being a young, up-and-coming TV host, recording radio shows from my bedroom floor, which I then forced my parents to listen to in the car for hours, much to their dismay. But I made it.
Look at her. Look as she is now. Look at her.
Welcome back to DBL. So that interview was pretty sad.
Yeah, Shirley just wrote in, awesome interview, thank you, but that tear coming down below his glasses got me. He sure loved his Beth. I at first couldn't see if he was just tired, but I think he was wiping a tear, and I think it was really sweet.
And to do that all day long, I don't think our viewers know that they start at 6 a.m. to wrote something till the afternoon, and to get those questions all day.
I know he wears those glasses, but I think he wore those specifically so he could cry.
Great job.
Thanks.
Good job. All right, here's what's coming up next.
We've got you covered with the biggest moments from the MTV Video Music Awards. Miley, Missy, the lip syncers, and the real singers. Didn't watch? Don't worry. Then, why Aquaman Jason Momoa could have used a superhero of his own last night, and the annoying habits that everyone can agree on. Is yours on the list? Find out when DBL returns.
Hey guys, today I am trying my very first Arby's Meat Mountain. Will it be as suspicious as the name sounds? Most likely. Let's give it a go. Now, here is my first viewing of said Meat Mountain, and it kind of looks creepy as hell. There's a lot of cheesy sauce going down the side. I don't know what you guys in America are thinking, even inventing this. This is the ultimate carnivore's dream. I can see we've got some kind of crispy onions glued together in the bun with a delightful barbecue sauce. Not sure about that. Bacon, cheese. I think it's chicken, turkey. I think it's beef or pork. I don't know, but I can't really smell it because it smells so meaty. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this. Okay, but for you guys, DBL Nation, I'm gonna give this a go. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Well, I got a mouthful of chicken and that tastes great. I think I need to try some of the more meat stuff. I just need to like get in there more. You know what? I actually really like it. That is actually really good. I'm actually not that much of a meat lover, but holy smokes.
Holy smokes.
This is an 8 out of 10. You know what? This is worth, I don't know how much it cost. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't buy this, but however much it was. The smell is a bit intense. It's very meat potent, but the taste is delicious. I think upon seeing this monstrosity of many meaty flaps, it's falling apart. Most British people would be very alarmed. I mean, when I saw it, I mean, what is this? The presentation, Arby's, I mean, you need to work on the presentation game because this isn't really selling it. Kind of looks like, it just looks a mess. But when you get past that and the smell of multiple meats, the taste is delicious.
Actually stays like this.
DBL starts right now.
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live. That was Miley Cyrus performing her new song at the MTV Video Music Awards. She sung her heart out last night in her first performance since splitting from husband Liam Hemsworth. Someone spilled something over there and I laughed. But that's not the only thing that fans are talking.
It's the best part of the show.
She debuted a new tattoo. It says, "My head was feeling scared, but my heart was feeling free."
That just brought Jeff so much joy.
Yeah, it was right off the corner of my eye. Maybe we should get a little shot of David picking up all those nuts over there. Since we don't want to just leave the elephant hanging out in the room,
the king of the
David.
facts here.
What happened over there, buddy?
What happened, buddy?
On my sunflower seed.
Oh,
that's
all right.
so sad.
It was right in eye level of where I was reading.
I feel like we're bullying him.
They look already chewed, though.
He knew that was coming because he looked right at me while I was reading. I'm like, I got to get you now. I got to get. Sorry about that.
Back to she's just being Miley.
Yes,
Okay.
let's get back to Miley.
So I really like this Miley, this version of Miley. One, if you look at her, that is someone who is 100% in alignment with who they are. She looks healthy, like she looks strong, and she's killing it performance-wise. I really like this version of her. And also, you have to consider what she's done. People twice her age have struggled to do. Like, really say, I love you, but I can't be who you need to be because I need to be who I need to be. And that's really difficult to do, especially when you've made a commitment to someone that's supposed to last the rest of your life. So I really commend her, and I think that we're going to see the best out of her because I think she's really being who she needs to be.
I really agree with you, and I just want to show a comparison or tell a comparison between 10 years ago at the VMAs. She came out, I believe it was 10 years ago, and she did the Robin Thicke blurred lines, and she was like humping him from behind, and her tongue was all out, and she was the new Miley who wasn't Hannah Montana. And I remember being like, oh my God. And compared to this, just the visual alone is so much more adult, mature, and toned down and quiet. And it's really an evolvement or an adaptation of someone who's been through something. You can see there's growth there.
What do you think about her tattoo? You think that's meaning, obviously, of what's going on?
Absolutely. I think she feels also, she represents herself as a queer or identifies as queer. I think when she says, my heart feels free, she somehow is saying maybe she felt tethered in a certain way, and she's finally being, as Erica said, in alignment with her true self. I thought it was a great performance.
And honestly, don't forget, like, we all like this performance, and we're not her demo.
Her demo, right.
You know,
Right.
think about if you're her demo, and you've kind of grown up with her. From being a little girl to then the blurred lines performance, to kind of the wild party girl, to the Wrecking Ball album cover, to this, and it's like to then putting that childishness aside, getting a partner, which on paper he literally is the perfect man, but she's saying allegedly that he's got some demons, which we all do. But instead of, and this is so important for the people that follow her, because there's going to be a lot of young people that are going to meet the love of their life for the first time, and they could very possibly get dragged down. How many good people, Erica, Jeff, have been dragged down by a person that they love too hard and dragged them down because of their own personal demons? She's saying, hey, I let go of Thor's brother.
Yeah.
You know?
Thor's brother, Kevin.
You know? And so it's like, you can do this. Like, don't let somebody that's going down the wrong path, you can cheer for and be the biggest cheerleader, but at the same time, like, hey, you got to do you.
Yeah, I think we're all unanimous on this one.
Weird.
I liked it. I wasn't a fan before. All right, guys, this I really like. Hip-hop legend Missy Elliott shut down the VMAs. She finally won the Video Vanguard Award. Missy's reaction, oh, look, we took out Michael Jackson's Video Vanguard Award.
Yes.
Just so people know, if you guys were watching earlier. Missy recreated her iconic music video by performing a bunch of her hits. Let's watch. That was the best, by far the best performance of the night in my eyes. She was the only person I knew. That was it. So, but I mean, honestly, I don't even want to turn this up. We talk about it in a panel all the time, but we talked about it with my wife at home while we were watching. Whether you're black, white, female, tall, skinny, short, old, dude, you relate to Missy Elliott no matter who you are.
She's music Oprah.
Yeah. Oh,
She's
yeah.
music Oprah.
That's a good call.
Whoa, that's so weird. Really quick, the woman in yellow, if you thought she was amazing, is actually Allison Stoner. 17 years ago, she was in the work it video. She is the same little girl on the left. Missy brought her out and gave her the floor, really, for about 2 minutes, and she killed it. She's a choreographer and a dancer, and it was so nice for Missy to bring that back.
And Jeff said she still got it.
Yeah,
What do you think she's gonna come out on a gurney?
No, I mean she was like comes out and like crushing it. Like sometimes when you're little, you give up those things and stuff. So obviously she's still dancing.
She rocked it. She was great.
And I think that's a huge part of Missy's video, like having those little kids in there. The iconic, that girl became a star because of that.
Right.
She had some kids in when she was doing a different song. So her performances along with her songs are a big part of who she is.
Yeah.
Right.
Interesting.
All right, Cobb, I think we're going to dive in on that one.
We're going to the Missy concert, all of us.
Dude, I'm in on that.
Don't let her get within 100 miles of Denver.
Dude, I mean, that brought me back. I was like, I get the chills like talking about it. It brought me back to like my high school days. And like, she's just the best. She's really a great performer. Good for you, Missy. I'm proud of you. Doesn't matter.
Nope.
Right? Hey, I won this award, and that guy from Daily Blast just congratulated me the next day.
I think Jeff Schroeder is proud of me.
It's every dream I had come true. All right, there were, of course, a ton of performances last night, but fans are accusing Lil Nas X and the Jonas Brothers of lip syncing. Let's watch.
Now when it's all done, I get the upper hand. I need a big fence, not another fan, but
But we have to give it up for Lizzo, who gave it her all. Fans think she sang this one for real, and there is a giant butt behind her. Let's watch. So was this your favorite part, Tori?
I just learned about Lizzo. I'm not great with music. I have bad taste, but Jeray always plays good music in the makeup room.
That bodes well for Lizzo.
Yeah, that's true. But what Lizzo did, and I loved her twerking flute performance.
That was awesome.
She said Missy, actually, and Queen Latifah gave her the idea that a big, thick woman could be cool and sexy. And her vibrato, singing live, and the joy that comes out of her and singing, I'm sick of this BS, and I know you are too. Let's just feel good as hell. I gotta tell you, it just felt good. I mean, we taking that hair toss. She just has it. She just has it. Sorry.
No.
I got really into it.
Passionate on that. I like it. I like
She's
the passion.
great. Yeah.
So she obviously wasn't lip syncing. Did you notice the other people lip syncing at all?
Honestly, I don't even think about lip syncing. I know people get really all upset about it, but here's the truth. Award shows historically have terrible audio.
Yeah.
So if you can come in and do, because it's not a controlled space,
right?
And then there's a lot going on. If you can come in and do 125% performance, then you'll look 100%. But if you're an artist who doesn't have a super strong voice or is battling something or not able to sing live, and you give 80%, it's going to look like you gave 45.
Well,
so I can understand. Yeah, I can understand why people decide to just have a control, because that way you're not blown up on every single social talking about how terrible you are.
Yeah, but I thought Lil Nas X was so badly lip syncing that it came across on the other way. Like, he didn't even seem to really try. And maybe it's because he's new at lip syncing.
Maybe it's because his song was #1 for 79 weeks in a row.
Well, he sang Panini, a different one.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so it was just odd how bad it was.
Yeah. Well, he's also not really a singer.
Right, exactly.
So he is really great at like social when they make it into a song that everybody
can gather.
Yeah, he has really great production value.
Totally.
I do like paninis. All right, we can't talk about an award show without our resident fashionista, Stephanie Jones, breaking it all down for us.
No, you can't not talk about it, can you, Jeff? So let's have a look. First up, Queen Latifah rocked this coral pantsuit with a little bit of fringing on the legs. This is something you guys can do to zhuzh up an old outfit in your closet. And I think Al Jackson could pull that off any day. What do you reckon, Al?
Steph, I've known you for a long time, girl. I would have thought you would said that's boring.
Nah, well, you know what? I just think it's a bit of a, like, you know, add a bit of flair to it. What would be a boring suit? You know, a bit of fringing. Who
What would you think about
fringing?
an orange Abe Lincoln stovepipe hat?
No, Al.
I reckon you could pull it all off, Al.
Let me ask this: if Tori came in with that outfit, what would happen?
think she'd look wonderful.
We would be all worked that day.
I do think she would look.
I think
Tori could totally pull that off. Yeah.
Okay, let's have Tori wear that and have Al not make a joke the whole day. Let's see if that happens.
All right, well, one thing I want to see you in, Jeff, is Lenny Kravitz rocking denim on denim, and YouTuber Tana Mojo and singer Her both accessorized with snakes, channeling a bit of Britney Spears vibes, which led me to think, where was Britney? I missed her appearance. And Jeff, could you pull off that chainmail top, do you reckon?
No, I couldn't pull off any of it.
No.
Maybe I could wear jeans, but he had pointy shoes on.
Yeah.
You have to have a face that says I'm pulling it off, because like you have the build to do it, but your face would be like, I look ridiculous. And like as soon as you lock eyes with me, you would have
come close to pulling that off.
He couldn't.
No,
He looked
I
absolutely
reckon
ridiculous.
he's got this, Jeff. I reckon that, bring out the boy bander in you, and you can do it.
Yeah, you could totally do it, Jeff. The key is the sunglasses.
Yeah.
Because it hides what you're really like, is this working or not?
Dude, if I showed up anywhere like that, I hope someone would tackle me and stuff me in a sack and take me back to where I came from.
Why do you have to be in a sack?
Because I just thought about the cartoons. You know, they just put them in a sack.
Wait, do you think our own Jeray could pull that off, Steph?
Yes,
Jeray could, yeah.
always.
Right, we're getting that
off
outfit.
anything. What about Lil Nas X? He made a few wardrobe changes last night, but he walked the red carpet in this silver getup. Now, this is a look. I love it. It reminds me of Prince.
Yeah. That ruffle stuff.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And it seems like plenty of stars forgot their pants last night, like Taylor Swift, Jonathan Van Ness, and Megan Thee Stallion, and Halsey. So, ladies, do you reckon you come into Daily Blast Live with that on?
What was that last part, Steph?
I couldn't hear you.
I was going to say something else, and I just thought, no, just end it there.
No, say what you were going to say.
No, Jeff, we want to do a show.
I reckon Erica and Tori could definitely pull off this look for sure.
I would do Taylor's and Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah, you would look good in Taylor. Now, if you didn't know, Taylor has safety pins on her blazer to represent safety for marginalized people.
Huh. Is that Balmain?
Oh, it has to be Megan Thee Stallion.
It's Versace.
Ah.
Leave it to Tori to bring up something political when you see that. I have no idea how you got political on that.
It's and true. Erica shrugged that comment off like a mosquito. She was like, is that Versace?
Thank you, Steph. You did an awesome job. We'll be right back.
Driving without car insurance? Sooner or later, your luck will run out.
So, people, we want to know your favorite performance. You liked Missy.
I mean, hands down.
Did anyone else watch? They had, for the TV folk watching, like emojis come out. Did you watch this? So during Taylor, during Missy, during everybody's performance, there was like emojis, but only the TV audience could see it. It'd be like, OMG!
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, so I thought the big butt was only the TV audience because I thought it was a 3D emoji.
Oh,
and I'm like, well, no.
I'm like, there's a giant butt back there.
I know. But what you missed is the beginning of Lizzo. She twerks and her dancers turn and she flips and their bums are exposed.
Well, it's like what
like Fart Man from Howard Stern. Just like that, they were cut out. So that was representing the butt.
In your head right now, were you like, I'm not sure I could say that?
I thought about it twice. I did think about it a lot.
I've said it all the time though. I feel like the women that were dancing with Lizzo and Lizzo herself looks more like most women across the world
amen.
than what you normally see with the models behind. And am I arguing when there's gorgeous models behind somebody singing? No.
No.
But did anybody have any pushback to that? And no one was like, oh, we're the skinny models. I was like, that looks great.
I was like, oh, she's there.
Here's the thing. People have to remember this because this drives me crazy. Representation matters because it says that there's more than the one or two options that we're used to seeing. The hierarchy came from the idea that representation meant that it was better. That's not, so I want people to be really, really clear about that, especially in a movement where people are being seen for the very first time. I know for me, I don't put a hierarchy when it comes to natural hair, when I went natural. It's not about natural hair being better.
Right.
It's about the fact that it was never on the table.
Wow.
So it's not about like, this particular body being better. It's that the other options were never on the table. So there isn't a hierarchy. It's just evening out the playing field of representation.
I love
that. That's the reason why I'm so against like the real woman like movement or saying that, because it's not. I'm not against the movement, but calling it real woman because we're all real women.
Yeah. That's high.
Welcome back to DBL. Everybody has a bad habit or two, like talking during movies or taking their shoes off on an airplane. I think that's okay if you have socks on. We'll talk about it later. Today we are taking a look at some of the most annoying habits that other people have. Let us know the quirks you can't stand using the hashtag dbltake. First up, this is my favorite because I got a lot of quirks here. Looking at your phone during conversations with other people.
I hate this.
I don't like when people do that to me.
People do that to me here on the thing.
You're looking at an iPad right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at it for our viewers.
You know what else I don't like? I don't like when people talk to me with sunglasses on.
Oh.
It's like, dude, we're having a conversation. It's not sunny. Take off your glasses. You know what I mean?
Sometimes people forget that they have sunglasses on because that's generally when I do it, and then it'll be like 10 minutes into a conversation. I'm like, I don't know why I'm wearing these right now. Like I just got real comfortable.
All right, that's fair. I got a bag more over here.
But Jeff, I would say this: if you take the sunglasses off, then you're committing to the conversation.
Oh, it's not a drive-by.
Sometimes you want a quick convo, and once it's like, so Jeff, now it's like, oh, we're stopping now.
Oh man, he took off his sunglasses.
Now
How
we're
long
in
am I
it.
going to be here? All right, next up is refusing to walk single file down a crowded sidewalk. Oh, God.
Man, this one drives me insane.
Eric, away from one you're passionate about.
Oh my gosh. I lived in a downtown area from 99 until last year, 2018. That's a long time. People come and they decide to go. They're tourists. They walk 4 deep and nobody else can pass them. They walk super slow. They're looking up in the sky like Superman's about to come down for them. Like they're paying no attention. You have to walk around into the street and risk your life for these morons who not only want to walk down the street side by side 4 deep, but then some of them have the audacity to be holding hands. So it's like Rover, Red Rover, can Erica come over? Like, what is going on here? Just pay attention. If somebody is coming down the street, then get your butt in a single file line and continue on business as usual. Some of us need to use the sidewalk.
I think she got that. I thought I got passionate about these.
That was unbelievable.
A slow clap. That was unbelievable.
All right,
The
let's see if we
morons.
That was a Rudy.
someone else can get passionate about this. The next annoying habit is starting an order with "Can I get a" instead of "May I have a." You know what my annoying habit is? If you corrected me on that, that would be my annoying habit.
Yeah, I would say that to you, and you'd be like, "Shut up."
Yeah,
no,
we talked to you
Jeff,
for 2 weeks.
you waited tables. That kind of
You
bothered
actually do
me a
this a
little
lot.
bit.
Can I have a Coke? Sure, buddy.
No, but you always say, "Tori, may you have a Coke?" You correct
Yeah,
me
but
on
that's
this.
me because I just want to start a fight.
Oh, okay.
That's really my only. But if you're a server and somebody just like my thing, it's not the can I. I don't know if you guys all serve tables. It's the ordering without looking at you.
Oh,
that's super disrespectful. Like if somebody just goes, I'll take the waffle fries.
Yeah.
Like that, and just kind of shoves the menu.
That's a totally different
That's my
thing
eat,
than
pray,
can
love
and
moment.
may.
Can and may is a little too.
That's a little.
on the-
Yeah, but I could see that. Like at the end of a long.
That sounds like
No, I think "Can I get a" ends up a what?
There we go.
Otherwise, no.
Man, maybe I got to watch that. Because I think I do that. Like, oh, excuse me, miss, can I get another beer? Like, I
But
would
you'll say,
that.
excuse me, miss.
You're fine.
It's just that when it starts, hey, can I get, like, it's very kind of,
Garçon.
you address people first.
All right.
Yes.
Nailed it.
We can recover after Erica's comment.
No one.
Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty Blast. I'm Jeray for the Slay, and before we get started, let's go ahead and connect and be friends, y'all. Follow me at Jeray for the Slay, J-A-R-A-Y, and let's go ahead and connect and make sure that we're all getting these beauty blasts together. Now, back to business. Today, we're talking some red light beauty tips, and with that being said, I want to bring up something that's a little controversial. Yes, you guys already know. Using blush. Is it too much? Did I not do enough? I know, it's the age-old question of why am I even doing this? But there's actually a real reason, guys. So let's take it a step back and figure out why do we need blush in the first place. So, we use blush because it's actually going to help to reinvent some of the features that we wipe away when we're using a lot of these full coverage products. Full coverage foundation, even tinted moisturizers or concealers can sometimes take away from the color and enhancement in our skin that we're looking for. So, by using a blush, it's actually going to help to re-enhance those features that we're wiping away and make sure you have that bright and an awoken look, okay? So with that being said, I know you're probably wondering should we be applying this? And I got the answers for you, my friends. So I know everyone has seen that one lady at church that has those pancakes on her cheeks. I know, that's too much. You don't want to really be leaving the house with big circles on your face. So instead, I want you to follow my map here, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and start at our nostril, and then we're gonna go to the end of our eye. This is a nice little vertical line here. This area, we wanna keep completely free of any blush. You should actually be using this area for concealer or maybe for more of a brightening powder. Instead, we wanna go ahead and use the top area of our cheek for any of our blush application. So I like to keep any blush right back here to give more of a risen and awoken look. This also helps for more of a youthful finish as well. Now, if we take our blush too low, it's actually going to drag your face down and it might age you a little bit more, which is not what we want. The whole purpose of all this makeup is to keep the skin looking young, honey. So
managing
that's our tip.
finances as a single woman in today's Dollars and Cents, presented by John Hancock. Very interesting topic today. I like it, Felicia.
It's going to be a good one.
I like it, and thanks for being here, as always.
Thank you.
You ready to jump right in with our question?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. This question is from Sheila through Facebook. She asks, I'm recently single after a 20-year marriage and was never the one in charge of finances. What advice do you have?
You know, this is a really good question because a lot of women find themselves in this situation. So what we're going to do is jump into a couple of tips and when it comes to single women and finances. So first thing that Sheila should do is pay herself first.
Okay.
You know, 44% of single women have less than $1,000 of saving. So what Sheila will need to do is make savings a hobby and make sure she puts money into an emergency fund or other savings first each month. So that's the big one.
Okay.
The next thing is Sheila needs to protect her credit. Because single women, you know, we don't have another income to rely on, so
Right.
you're going to have to really make sure that credit stays high, and it helps you give favorable loans and rates and interest rates and things like
And
that.
is that basically just paying your bills on time?
Yes, exactly. Keep that credit score as high as you can, pay your bills on time, pay off all your debt, you know, keep it and keep this up on a regular basis.
Right.
And then finally, we're going to leverage community and work resources. Now, this is so cool because we are in a time where financial education is pretty much around every corner. So we're going to tell Sheila to make sure she goes and get financial education, tap into resources in her community, and you know what, and get a debt accountability partner if she wants to pay off debt. So
There
that's a
you
good
go.
one. Yeah.
There you go. Who needs to go get one of those reliable people, and we have you, Felicia.
Yes, I'm here.
You're here for us, and we love it. Thank you so much, Felicia. And to submit your financial questions for the next Dollars and Cents, please email askmrsjones@dailyblastlive.com. And for info about life insurance and retirement planning, call John Hancock at 1-800-978-0663. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Good hair.
Nation. It's Raquel here, and I feel like this is the quietest I've ever seen this entire room. I don't know what everyone's doing. There's a lot of people still here. They're just not saying anything, which is rare, and it's weird to hear myself talking. But anyway, I am the purveyor of SNL News, and I have something coming up. Leslie Jones is leaving Saturday Night Live. And it's not a thing where she's been kicked out. They actually said she has so much work, this is according to TMZ, that she doesn't have time to do the show anymore. So I'm going to really miss Leslie Jones, although I did really like her Olympics commentary, and I do follow her on Twitter more so than I've been watching her in skits lately, so maybe this is the right call, so we'll see how it goes. Just let me know how you feel. Are you excited to have Eddie Murphy come back? I feel like my voice is getting quieter because the room is getting quieter. Like, I feel like I'm whispering at this point because I don't want to disturb anyone. But anyway, I will see you at Access. Bye, guys.
Welcome back to DBL, a clip from our show all about chicken sandwiches. Surprisingly, has gone viral. If you didn't see it, here it is.
Take a moment, savor it. Jeff looks a little bit more reactionary on this one. I feel like he's feeling the Popeyes.
That's seasoning.
Okay, he's into the Popeyes.
Tori, does that taste like a neighborhood you've never been to?
Oh my God! Stop it!
See what we do when you're away, Erica? This is it. Well, now an Instagram influencer put his own spin on it.
So good.
It turned into a musical. Watch this.
That seasoning. Okay, he's into the Popeye. Boy, does that taste like a neighborhood you've never been to. Oh my God! Stop it! Chew, chew slowly. No, that fry is not cute. Nope. I've got my favorite. Okay, what is it? Point. Popeyes.
I like the point. I think that might be my favorite thing.
There's one that goes, chew it slowly, chew it because you're hungry.
There's another one out there?
No, I mean, if you listen closely, he has a whole, like, song. It's incredible.
I'm glad I wasn't the one getting zinged today. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place.